kind of flex their muscles and get something done here. And it's, by the way, it's exactly what happened when they faced off the first time, right? When you look at that matchup, they had 21 offensive rebounds, Houston did, and that first time they played SMU this year. I don't know why anything would really be different.
Yeah, I don't see why it would be different either. Again, the last time they played, John, it was 87-53.
Yep.
It was a very competitive game. Competitive 34 points.
Well, Houston did trail 2-0.
Okay.
18 seconds.
It was 32. It was 32-6 at the 10-minute mark of the first.
Okay,
half.
So that 2-0 deficit got erased pretty quickly.
So it was a 32-4 run there, John. On that with Houston again. Big favorite on the road in Dallas tonight. All right, John, I'm going to put you on the spot here. How about Florida Atlantic ranked Kelly Bidlin's Owls on the road tonight in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, taking on Middle Tennessee State. Again, the Owls are kind of in this scenario where, even though I think they're more than good enough to get an at-large bid, they probably have to win the CUSA tournament to not really be sweating on Selection Sunday. They're 4.5 on the road against the Blue Raiders tonight.
I don't really have anything here, surprisingly enough, when it comes to this one. I've not watched a lot of Florida Atlantic basketball, but I will say one thing, and one thing only. Middle Tennessee's defense has not been very good. Opponents in terms of effective field goal percentage have come in, and I think they're like 260th in the country, something like that. Florida Atlantic, since they've gotten into conference play, has gotten a lot better offensively. Give me the Owls.
FAU can beat you in every which way. We got more to come. Prime time.
And now a small business setback, delivered by a kind French stranger.
Monsieur, there was an accident. The windshield of your catering van is, how do you say, kaput? But Progressive has an extensive network of repair shops. Now, we sing about the old days. Brave marin revient de guerre.
When things go wrong with your small business, it's comforting to know you have Progressive Commercial. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Croissance for everyone.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms and conditions.
Responsible sports betting starts with a game plan. That means stick to a budget. Keep it social by playing with friends. Learn the game and know the odds. Play with trusted legal operators. And if you need help, reach out. If you're getting in on the action, visit haveagameplan.org to learn more.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161 or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
With LifeWell, help is here. We offer mental health and addiction treatment focused on adults with financial need. Learn about recovery and whole person health at lifewell.us and find an inspiring career to become part of our team. We're hiring psychiatrists, therapists, case managers, clinicians, and more. Start a career of hope, health, and healing. Visit lifewell.us. This message is sponsored by LifeWell and a Virginia G. Piper Charitable Trust COVID Response Grant.
What do a 450-year-old author and a bottle of 4 times distilled vodka have in common? Let's compare Shakespeare, shall we? Shakespeare, the man, the epitome of playwriting, the OG of live theater, the standard by which all others are compared. Shakespeare, the vodka, an original Polish spirit crafted from a recipe 12 centuries old with an unwavering attention to smoothness and purity, the standard by which all others should be compared. Maybe they're not so different after all. Shakespeare Vodka is the Shakespeare of vodkas.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
This is VSiN's Final Countdown with Stormy Buonantony and Matt Brown on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. This segment of VSiN Final Countdown is presented by Zyn Nicotine Pouches, the surprisingly simple way to enjoy nicotine. Look, most nicotine products are either too complicated to use or don't provide the satisfaction you're looking for, but Zyn Nicotine Pouches might surprise you. Zyn is made with 6 simple ingredients and is completely tobacco leaf free. Plus, it offers up to 1 hour nicotine satisfaction per pouch. Buy Zyn online or at a store near you at Zyn.com. That's ZYN.com. It is VSiN's Final Countdown. I'm Jeff Parles, Jonathan Von Tobel alongside. Producer Steph is here. Stormy this week on Follow the Money. Matt Brown on a numbers game. So you got us in the afternoon instead.
Yes. That is true. Those are all true statements.
Yes. Even the name of the show, correct.
That is true. Yep, you got it right.
Well. Yes, it's good. Let's keep it with college hoops. Let's go to the Pac-12. Arizona's hosting Utah, John. Now, in normal circumstances, if you had a Pac-12 team like Utah sitting at 17-9 and 10-5 in conference and in third place alone, you would say usually, well, that team is safely in the NCAA tournament, right? Not the case for the Utes. They need some help here down the stretch. And tonight, again, they are a big underdog. They're an 11-point underdog at the McHale Center in Tucson tonight. 147 is their total. If Utah's going to have any shot of stealing an at-large bid, they got to find a way to pull an outright upset tonight in Tucson.
Yeah. And this is a fascinating game too, because Utah defensively for the season and in conference play has been freaking awesome. They're a top 30 team in terms of defensive efficiency. I think they're on the fringes. They're like 33rd or something in that range.
Still pretty good.
Still really, really good in that regard. And you would assume that's where you're going to get this, right? Arizona's been incredible on offense in terms of what they've been able to do. They're still a top 10 unit. I think you'd want to come in here, be able to slow this Arizona team down. Grabbing the outright upset, I'm not entirely sure about that. But staying inside 11 points here. Now, I'm to be honest with you, I'm kind of surprised that this number is as high as it is. I thought it would be under 10. I think Utah does have the horses to at least make this a little bit of a slower paced game and stay inside of this kind of a number.
Utah got a little bit of help if they wanted to put Pac-12 teams in because Oregon somehow lost to Washington last night, despite the fact when I was paying attention, Oregon was in complete control and then found a way to lose an OT. Right. I looked at the Utah again. Craig Smith coming over from Utah State. You remember him. He did a great job in Logan. For how big of a mess this program was when he got there at the beginning of last year, the fact that they at least have an outside shot, and look, they'll have a chance at UCLA next week. An outside shot to make the tournament is actually pretty impressive, all things considered, in year 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think it should be pointed out because we were talking about buying low and selling high. I think this is one of those buying low or selling high opportunities here against Arizona. They are 6-1-1 against the spread in their last 8 games. So they've been covering numbers. They've been treating bettors pretty well. I think that would kind of contribute to why this number is where it is here against Utah. I'll be really curious to see where this closes because I would think that my basic knowledge would tell me that this number is a little high. But this is up from the overnight of 9.5. So, and there's 11.5.
There's 2 things here. Of course, Utah is going for a season sweep. So if Utah were to sweep Arizona, that would again vault you even further, like we were saying, get you into the NCAA tournament.
Market tends to overvalue revenge spots as well.
Right. And then, I agree with you on that. And Arizona inexplicably lost to Stanford on Saturday.
Yep.
completely ridiculous that they lost that game to a bad Cardinal team this year. But look, I'm with you. I think that's still even 11 and a half, still too aggressive on this game.
And you tell me, so it's not like the numbers moved a ton, but there's like 146.5 out there for this total. One spot's at 145.5, it looks like. So the total seems to be coming down, and yet the numbers climbing in favor of Arizona. I would say that works against it, right? Because if it's a Utah game, I would assume this number goes under the total.
If it's a Utah game, it probably has to be played in the low 70s. So yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I would agree on that. But if this is look, the one problem with betting Arizona totals, and you know this, Don, they're great offensively and they play ridiculously fast.
Yep.
And if you get a good offensive team making shots, it's kind of like the Gonzaga theory all these years where, you get a night where Gonzaga's shooting the ball well, they could put up 100 on you.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't even matter that it's a 167. That's still going over if Gonzaga's putting 100 on you.
Yeah.
And look, Arizona's not quite those Gonzaga teams offensively, but they're capable of putting 88 on you. And then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, that 147 that it was earlier in the day, that was easy over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that's a total I would want nothing to do with that at all. Even though, again, you're kind of right. Contradicting itself right now. The market is that Utah is getting bet against, but this is getting bet to the under. Let's you want to go WCC?
I'll go wherever you want.
You want WCC? Yeah, I know you're a big WCC guy, JV.
Actually wrote the West Coast Conference preview each the last 2-3 years.
There we go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go to the Jenny Craig Pavilion. All right.
Okay.
You good with that? Home of the Toreros of San Diego.
Good matchup tonight.
They're hosting St. Mary's. This is a big line. And look, I got to give St. Mary's a lot of credit because they beat Gonzaga in overtime coming from behind. They flip around losing overtime to Loyola Marymount, who's been the giant slayer in that conference this year, with wins against both St. Mary's and Gonzaga. And then they flipped around after a mediocre first half in Portland and smoked the Pilots in the second half. John, this is their third straight road game. San Diego has been, to me, a pretty significant disappointment this year. I thought they were going to be better than the 11-16 they are. But for a third straight road game in conference, getting 14 with the Toreros, that kind of feels pretty good there, John.
Yeah, I would agree with that. My only thing here is, and this is, I don't know if St. Mary's really the team to cover a number 2 like this. Just like they would really have to clamp down San Diego. And San Diego, they're coming into this game 4th in the West Coast Conference in offensive efficiency. Like they're not a bad offensive team. Does St. Mary's have it in them offensively, not that they're a bad offensive team, to take advantage of this defense for San Diego? Their defense has been bad. We're talking about a defensive rating of 117.7 against conference opponents. It's been very, very atrocious here. I just wonder if St. Mary's slow pace and the way that they play, are they going to be able to do enough to cover this sort of a number against a San Diego squad that's pretty adequate offensively in their own right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that is where my trepidation would be here in backing St. Mary's. To your point, that's just a really big number for the way that they play and the opponent that they're facing.
Let's hit the other big WCC game on the board tonight. That's Gonzaga. Gonzaga is on the road at Loyola Marymount. As we already discussed, Loyola Marymount walked into the kennel and actually beat Gonzaga earlier in the year, a little under a month ago. This is 8.5. Total's 155.5. John, I know that revenge spots love to get bet, but there is no way this should be this high on Gonzaga.
Yeah, I think this is a really good example of like what we're looking at for Arizona that we were just talking about. Like this seems that the market came in on this game. It was just like, oh, it's a revenge spot. Gonzaga's got to be able to take care of this. Betting it up from 7 on the overnight up to 8.5 where it's at right now. And keep in mind too, I mean, it's like we were talking about this the other night when it was Duke and Notre Dame, right? Because the situation was like, hey, they're coming off of that game against Virginia. They got screwed at the end of regulation. Notre Dame's terrible. You got to come in and take care of business here as a big favorite. They barely got by. And Duke has been
lost the game.
Correct, right. And then Duke has been a terrible cover team all year long. So, like, it shouldn't have been that big a surprise that Duke wasn't able to handle a very big number as a favorite. And here we have Gonzaga coming into this game, 9-16 against the spread. The market all year long has been too high on the Zags. And here we are situationally, a spot in which these teams tend to be overvalued already. I'm with you. Like, if you're talking about where you're betting this, I'll take 8.5. Who cares that it's a revenge spot? This team's been overvalued from the jump all season long, and now we're inflating this by 1.5 just because the team that they're facing beat them last time? Seems a little high.
Look at Loyola Marymount's legitimately good. Look, I know the 17-10, even with 3 wins, if they were to pull the upset again tonight and have 2 wins against Gonzaga and a win against St. Mary's, I'm not even sure that's enough to get you in. But that's a better resume than a lot of those mediocre Power 5 teams are going to have.
What, a 1-point loss to Baylor, too? I mean, I know you don't get credit for losses, but, like, there's been a competitive Loyola Marymount team, man.
Yeah, no, they're legitimately good. I got to give Stan Johnson his credit here this year in L.A. Of course, that game in L.A. tonight, Loyola Marymount 8.5. And then the other game in L.A. tonight, Stanford on the road at UCLA. Look, John, I don't say this about Stanford. They are not good. I don't care that they beat Arizona. They've been playing a little bit better, but they're not a particularly good basketball team. This feels like a spot in that. Look, I don't love laying big numbers in conference play, but this feels like if you're wanting to lay a big number in a low total game, this would be the spot to do it. Laying 13.5 with the Bruins in a game that's only 130.5.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it's interesting. The market has moved a little bit off of UCLA. It went from 14 to 13.5. So it's not like there's a big push here. But yeah, I would agree. I haven't watched a lot of the Stanford club, but the ones that I have was a little earlier in the season when they were in that swoon at the beginning of conference play. I'll just say I'm not impressed.
Yeah, 3 games left in the NBA's first half, or 2/4 of the way thing into the All-Star break. We're going to look at some awards next here on VSiN Final Countdown.
Looking to turn a small bet into a big payday? With DraftKings Sportsbook same-game parlays, you can pocket more cash when you combine multiple bets from one game. Download the app, sign up with code VSiN, and get a special offer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
New to VSiN? The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription. Get limited access to VSiN Pro articles and pro tools like the betting splits, the VSiN Daily email, and our introductory betting guide. Plus, when you sign up today, you'll automatically be entered to win a free VSiN Pro annual subscription, a $240 value. Sign up for your free VSiN subscription today at vsin.com/subscribe. VSIN/subscribe.
Here are 3 reasons Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch. We use food-grade ingredients. We have a wide selection of varieties, and they all come in 2 strengths. Find Zyn at a store near you.
Warning, this product contains...
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
We are ready to duel in the desert.
Is there anything better than the sound of 3 races breathing life into a new NASCAR season? What about if it's at a state-of-the-art facility with stunning views of the Estrella Mountains and a famous, only one of its kind hillside? Well, then you must be talking about Phoenix Raceway. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 10th through the 12th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a new Samsung laundry set with extra large capacity, serving up a powerful yet gentle clean in just 28 minutes, making this the sound of savings on the best appliance brands. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Get up to 25% off select appliances, including Samsung. Ends March 1st. Pricing valid February 9th through March 1st, 2023. Gas Dryer Extra, US only. See store or online for details.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
And welcome everybody to the Thursday edition of the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios, beautiful uptown Scottsdale, in locked safely away inside the CRC Broadcasting Mega Complex. You are texting in on the text line 888-368-1580. Right over there, the sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio. That's Keon Rose. My name is Randy White. Jeffrey O'Brien is out. Today, lots to talk about. We had a parade that took place yesterday in Kansas City. Some of the stuff is rolling out of Kansas City now. It's rolling out like a river of poo. We'll talk about that in a minute. It looks like Chris Beard is getting off scot-free, and we'll talk about that in just a bit. Chris Beard, of course, the former head coach of Texas basketball. We got some NFL free agency speculations. The Daytona 500 front row qualifying happened last night. We'll talk about that for just a bit. The infamous, Keon, the infamous over-under wins for the MLB have been released, according to Yahoo.com. So we'll talk about that. Lots to gather. First off, there's this river of poo, and I'll tell you what that means when you listen to this river of poo.
Before we started this season, the AFC West said we were rebuilding. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what rebuilding means. In our rebuilding year, we're world champs. We're world champs.
So Patrick Mahomes saying that all the haters out there said that they were rebuilding. And then Travis Kelce, he got on there and said that all the haters didn't believe. That's just a narrative that the Kansas City Chiefs are putting out. I don't recall anybody saying Kansas City was not a threat to win the Super Bowl this year. Do you?
There were a couple of the media clowns that said it, but those are the same clowns you're not supposed to trust. Like if you watched Get Up, where it did come up as a topic of conversation, and you believed it out of the mouth of Mike Greenberg, that's a you problem. That nobody with any sense thought the Chiefs were rebuilding. Nobody thought the Chiefs were going to miss the playoffs. Nobody said this. Yeah. Zero people with any credibility said this.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a big river of poo.
And I understand why, if you're a professional athlete, you would say all that.
I mean, they're out there, crying all this disrespect, and only it was just them against everybody else. And oh my God, how terrible was it that everybody said this was a rebuilding team? They had no shot at. Please.
I don't believe it. But I believe that they believe it, because that's how it works in a locker room sometimes, especially like the masterful coaches will absolutely convince everybody in that locker room the whole world hates you. Nobody believes in you. They're all against you. And then what ends up happening is, if you're good at coaching, the locker room has sort of got this us against the world mentality. So I understand why they came up with it, but you guys sound silly. It's just not true.
Okay. So the AFC West, we all thought that was going to be the division, the AFC West. That was going to be the division with, with the upgrade of Russ going to the Denver Broncos. Everybody thought they were going to be much improved. Justin Herbert coming off of a wonderful season, last season and going into this new season. And he was supposed to but then he got hurt. They had some key players got hurt. The Chiefs, I don't remember anybody. I never dissed the Chiefs. I don't know what these guys are talking about. Some people said with the loss of Tyreek Hill, what are they going to do offensively? I never doubted. I mean, Tyreek Hill did not make that football team. So, yeah, just a river of poo, as far as I'm concerned. Nobody believes it. Nobody, said it. And if somebody did say it, then they they have Jello for brains. I mean, in the article, they said certainly there were some ridiculous takes out there, but by who? I want to know who said these ridiculous takes.
I mean, the usual. I actually tweeted about it. It's the bad take starter pack. You got your Greenberg. You got. I know he's a CBS guy, but Adam Shine is just insane sometimes with some of his opinions. You got obviously you got Skip Bayless, who no one should trust ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah, those are the guys. Those are the 3 or 4 people that said that. But everybody else, like the thing is, when they were up there on the stage, they're saying everybody doubted us. Look, Skip Bayless might have a big platform, but he's not everybody.
Yeah,
he's just a very loud guy that nobody should trust.
Okay. All right, you had the holy trinity of stupidity. Mike Greenberg, who I fully believe is on the Dallas Cowboys payroll.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And he's probably on LeBron's payroll because all I hear out of that show is Dallas Cowboys and LeBron James.
I don't even think the Cowboys want him on the payroll. Like,
they could do 3 hours just on the Dallas Cowboys and LeBron James. If you listen to Greenberg, you would think the Dallas Cowboys were like the reigning champions for the past 4 years, and they were some huge football dynasty because that's all he talks about.
Just every show. And then, of course, LeBron, which I think is an easy, lazy thing to bring up every day. Is let's talk about LeBron again. LeBron's great, but like there are other guys playing basketball too. I don't know.
Even today, the 4-letter network, even today, the 4-letter network was talking about, the Lakers. The Lakers are in the cellar, man. 888-368-1580 is the text line.
I saw Ralph's name pop up on
I saw it. Yeah, I saw him pop up on the Zoom, and then he was gone again.
You said the Lakers are in the cellar.
I mean,
like in that exact moment.
Okay, so a giant a brown river of poo flowing through Kansas City. Just a decrying the fact that people doubted them. Please, there's Ralph. They're in the damn cellar.
A lot of wine in the cellar. Good.
I'm just tired of ESPN. I mean, they just program 2 sports teams. It's the Dallas Cowboys, and it's the Los Angeles Lakers.
Have you watched the Lakers lately?
I saw the highlights from last night. They look pretty good.
Yeah, that's a talented team.
They're still like in 48th place.
They won't be at the end. There's a lot of good players in that team. Just ask Keon.
Listen, we can talk about that. Lakers win last night, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because this is not your ESPN Lakers station.
It should be, but okay.
Please. Good to have you back, Ralph.
Thanks. Good to see you guys.
We were just talking about all the crying disrespect from the Kansas City Chiefs yesterday in their big parade. How woe is us. Everybody doubted us, but we're world champions. Everybody said we're rebuilding, but we are the world champion. Oh, please. Nobody believes that. Not even Mike Greenberg at ESPN believes that. Come on.
No, I mean there's a handful of the hot take artists who know that they're going to get attention, they're going to get views, they're going to get clicks or whatever by saying those things. And all you have to do, if you really want to motivate a locker room, is convince the guys in that locker room that those 2 to 3 people represent everybody, and then they're going to be there trying to fight the entire world.
Does a team like the Chiefs need to have that motivation? I mean, really?
I mean, I don't think you need it, but I think guys make it up anyway. I mean, Shaq once told a story about how David Robinson wouldn't sign an autograph for him when he was a kid, to the point where David Robinson was actually asking people, did I say no? Because that was something he prided himself on. Then Shaq later said, I made it up so I could get angry at him. Like they all do this. There's a million Kobe stories of stuff that Kobe made up so he could get mad. They all do this.
Well, there you go. Chiefs fans, enjoy this. A wonderful victory for you. Your team is not rebuilding. Your team is a contender. And depending on how free agency goes, we look forward to seeing the Kansas City Chiefs again in the playoffs. I don't see them not being in the playoffs and competing for another world championship anytime. They're just not going to go away unless something catastrophic happens.
Yeah, unless Mahomes gets hurt. I mean, other than that, I don't.
I mean, if some Kelsey breaks his leg, Mahomes goes down with an ACL. Juju Smith-Schuster broken ankle. Some sort of catastrophic events take place. The Chiefs will be competing for a Super Bowl in the near future for the next several years in a row.
I agree.
I mean, Andy Reid's not going anywhere.
Why would he?
Yeah, why?
In spite of what Terry Bradshaw tried to get him to say on worldwide television. Yeah, Choro, I did. Text line, Choro already giving me grief. I heard Randy pick the Eagles. I did pick the Eagles. Yeah. I did do that, Choro. I picked the Eagles.
But
a lot of us did.
But you know what?
I was wrong.
Randy thought the Chiefs were going to make the damn playoffs, though.
But I knew this was I said all along, I never said, the Eagles are going to, dismantle the Chiefs. I said it was going to be a tight game. And it was. It wasn't a blowout. It was a tight game. It was a great Super Bowl. I think one of the classics.
I think it was great until the last 2 minutes. I think it was fantastic.
All right.
Yeah.
What put a bad taste in your mouth about it, Ralph?
I think a bad call. I mean,
the holding thing.
You take that out. I mean, I think that game was going like we all thought it was going to go. I mean, it was a great game. It was really fun to watch.
Do you think? So I know it has absolutely no bearing on the game. Do you think that if they didn't call the holding call on that, the game would have changed?
Yeah, I think the Eagles would have went down and scored a touchdown. I really do.
Well, I don't know about that.
That's what I was feeling because I said it before the game. Mm-hmm. There'd be that one stop, and that was that stop. And that the Eagles would take advantage of that. And I thought they would. I really thought with 2 minutes left and they had some timeouts, they were prime.
Aside from the holding call, that wasn't really a holding call.
Right.
I mean, it was a holding call.
But you don't make that call.
I don't know. He had a fistful of jersey.
Okay.
I don't know how you don't call that.
He wasn't catching that ball.
Okay, but he threw the flag before the ball was thrown because it was not a pass interference. So it doesn't have to be catchable. You can't hold the guy.
I think that referee went, holy crap, it's going to ruin my bet.
I mean, maybe, but like I posted a picture of it on the Twitter.
Wait a minute. Who do I have on the over-under here? That's a hold. I got a hold.
James Bradbury is holding a fistful of jersey, and the jersey is stretched out. You got to call that.
It was a shame to have that call impact that kind of game.
Yeah, but you can't have it both ways. You can't be like the refs are blind. How on earth are they missing obvious calls? And then when they have an obvious call to make, well, don't call that one. What do you want? Do you want them to make the calls, or do you not want them to make the calls?
Well, not in this game. I didn't.
Well, so then you're just being. I think you're being a little pedantic. Then, you got to pick a side here. They called an obvious holding. That's the definition, the textbook definition of a hold.
I mean, I get past all that. The Chiefs deserve to win. The way they played in that second half, especially defensively, they absolutely deserve it. I mean, Andy Reid showed you why he is one of the great coaches of all time.
I agree with you 110%. And I agree with you that it was a classic game. And I agree with you also that it was kind of a stupid holding call. And we'll never know. But, to be honest with you, Jalen Hurts throws the ball away, gives the ball, coughs the ball up, and the Chiefs score a touchdown, defensive touchdown. That should have never happened.
Yeah. And
protect
honestly,
the damn ball.
Jalen Hurts could have got the MVP even a losing team. I mean, he played fantastic.
He was brilliant. He was amazing. I also think there's a Sirianni punt, the one that led to the big Kadarius Toney punt return. That was another turning moment in the game. Like there was more than one.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel bad for the Eagles because when you now going forward, you lose your offensive and defensive coordinator. That's going to impact that team.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt them.
And you got it's not I don't think it's a maybe. I think it'll definitely hurt them. Like, okay, so here's the thing. Like, first off, they got 13 guys going to free agency. That's a lot.
See, for me, that's the biggest thing right there. But can you get those 13 guys back?
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, you got Jason Kelsey. He doesn't even know if he's coming back or not. Like, there's a bunch of key guys in that locker room that we just don't know. But the other thing with the offensive and defensive coordinators, when those guys get removed, well, first off, Nick Sirianni's not calling the defense, so he's gonna have to find another defensive guy. They'll probably promote from within. There's a couple of people that they really like inside the organization. But the other thing is that when these coordinators go on to these other jobs, who do they hire? The people on your staff. So now your quarterback's coach is in jeopardy of being snatched up. Your linebackers coach is in jeopardy of being taken away. You have to rebuild your entire coaching staff, and you were in the damn Super Bowl.
Yeah. But I think the more pressing situation, because you're right, Keon, they can hire from within another defensive coordinator. I'm sure they got a linebackers coach or somebody there that knows this system so well. They can just promote him right up and let him be the new DC.
I actually think that I forget the name of the linebackers coach, but he's a guy that they should probably go ahead and promote, because if Jonathan Gannon says, "Hey, I want that guy to be my DC," you're hurting, I think, when you lose that dude. So yeah, it's there's but yeah, the players and the coordinators combined, I don't know what the Eagles are going to look like next year.
Yeah, it's ugly.
Moist One says Eagles are Ralph's third favorite team. Is there any truth to that statement?
No, I mean, the only thing I ever liked about the Eagles in my whole life was two things, actually. I was a huge Randall Cunningham fan.
Yes.
I love Randall Cunningham.
Who wasn't? The guy was great.
And Jerome Brown.
All right.
My two guys.
Let's see on the text line, because we're coming up on a break here. Big George says, "Hello, gentlemen. Happy Thursday. Randy, is there a river of poo coming out of Kansas City? It's called the Missouri River, and it's one of the most polluted waterways in North America. No, it's that line of crap that guys were spilling out on the good people of Missouri when they were standing on the stage waving around that Super Bowl trophy with their Miller Lite cans." That's what they were doing.
Miller Lite.
And can Kansas City Chiefs not afford something other than like Bud Light or Miller Lite or whatever the hell it was? Can we get some maybe some champagne in here?
I mean,
I don't know.
I know when the Lakers had their parades, they didn't use Miller Lite. So,
well, that's I'm just saying.
It's Missouri, man. It was never going to be champagne. No one was going to break out the Chardonnay. It was
Miller Lite or Bud Light.
That's what they have there.
Anyway, Hook'em Hottie says, let's talk. Let's get to Daytona talk. I told you, my guy, Alex Bowman. It's Alex Bowman's year, Randy. Okay, we'll talk about that. Alex Bowman, he's on the pole for the Daytona 500. 6 straight front rows for this guy. 6 straight. Never been done before. Not by any of the legends that came before him when since Daytona started way back in, 1959 or whatever, for the first race. 6 in a row, 6 years in a row, Alex Bowman has started at the front. 6 years in a row, Alex Bowman has not won the race. We could talk about it. I mean, okay, he's fast, but now they're going to put it in race trim. We'll see what happens. I got a lot more to talk about. Ralph Romano, Harmon Solar, joining us here on the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
Three games in the NBA tonight. The Phoenix Suns home to face the LA Clippers. Phoenix a 1-point home favorite, minus 108 on the money line. Clippers plus 110. Over under sits at 221.5. Minnesota hosting the Washington Wizards. The Timberwolves favored by 3 points, minus 148. Washington plus 126. Over under 234.5. The Chicago Bulls taking on the streaking Milwaukee Bucks, who have won 11 straight. Chicago is 7-point home underdog, plus 235. Milwaukee minus 290, over under 229. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name is Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
1580 The Fanatic is your home for college basketball action. This is sure to be a Big 12 shootout when Baylor travels to take on the Kansas Jayhawks. Saturday at 1:45. Listen to all the action live from premier games and conference showdowns. High-paced action, last-minute buzzer beaters, and all the drama that is college basketball. All in one place. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. And always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Welcome back to the Daily Winner of 1580 99.3 The Fanatic. We were talking with the guys and IKEA and Ralph and myself talking about the river of poo that was flowing through the middle of Kansas City, Missouri. Silly Wabbit on the text line says, wait a minute, hold up. I thought Kansas City was from Kansas City, Kansas, not Kansas City, Missouri. Oh, come on. Come on.
Well, it's both, right?
Come on, man.
I mean, there is a Kansas City, Kansas, but that's not.
It's right there. I've been to both. I've driven through right
Boomer Sooner wants to let us know that as Robert Sarver exited the building, he gave each of his employees, which I find this hard to believe, $50,000. That's about $15 million. Beer me. Okay. I'm thinking he didn't give the receptionist 50 large. I'm thinking he didn't give the administrative assistant 50 grand.
We are talking about a man who once said to Goran Dragic, when Goran Dragic just missed an All-Star game and missed, therefore, the All-Star game bonus that he would have gotten in his contract, he said to his face, "Oh, thank God. I don't have to pay you."
That's honesty right there.
To his face. I don't think Robert Sarver parted with any money on his way out the door. Doesn't seem like a Sarver thing to do.
You know, hey, Fred, security guard, here's 50 large. I don't think he did that.
If Fred, the security guard, dropped $10, Robert Sarver's taking it and keeping it.
Here you are, Timmy, mailroom guy. Here's 50 grand. I just find that hard to believe. I'm sorry. The 1107 says Durant nailed his intro press conference today. I didn't see it. Did you? Did you get to see it, Ken?
I did.
Did you, Ralph? Did you see the intro?
No.
You were working, right?
I was on a plane.
Oh, nice. Are you not in Phoenix? Not
I am
in Arizona
now.
right
No,
now?
I am now.
Oh, okay. All right. So did he nail it? I mean, was it a good press conference? I didn't get to see it.
It was actually, because they did it at the Footprint Center. There was a lot of fans there, people who apparently do not have to work. Interesting life there. But look, they were going crazy. They were cheering for him, and he just kept saying, I appreciate the warm welcome, but I haven't done anything in a Suns uniform yet. So I appreciate the welcome, but I've got work to do because I haven't shown you guys for your team, for your city, what I'm capable of. And I liked that.
Yeah, you're right. Heavy Metal Maniac. See, he's confirming. Heavy Metal Maniac says, I work there selling beer, so I didn't get $50,000. Maybe there'll be a check when I go to work later today. Highly doubt it, though.
Yeah, don't count.
Heavy Metal Maniacs. I hope so, but don't.
Here
hold
you
me
go,
back.
Heavy Metal Maniacs. You're the beer man. Here's 50 large for you. I don't think that happened.
$50.
He might have given it to all the executives. He sure as hell didn't give it to the. Oh yeah, you order the office supplies, 50 large. There you go. Thank you.
There are owners I would believe would do that. Robert Sarver is so far away from the list of people I would assume could do that. It's not even funny.
All right, 888-368-1580. Fish Tank says, how about those Coyotes? 46-shot shutout, 1-0 victory against a very good Lightning team. I know they aren't great, but they have some legit home field advantage going on this year in that YMCA hockey rink. They do. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. The Tampa Bay Lightning came in. Of course, you might recall who the Tampa Bay Lightning are. Former Stanley Cup champions. I think they won it 2 years in a row. Went to the Stanley Cup Finals, I think 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
It beat the Coyotes earlier this year on New Year's Eve 5-1. Last night, Coyotes enacted some revenge at the Mullet Arena in Tempe in front of 4,600 fans. The place, they were tearing the place apart.
It's already torn apart. They don't need to tear.
12 hats were thrown onto the ice. They had to stop the game for 10 or 12 seconds. The Coyotes won last night. It was a 0-0 shutout at the end of regulation. They went through the overtime, and then they went to a shootout. And Ingram was the goaltender. He blocked 47 for 47 saves, 100,000% save ratio at this point.
Didn't Tampa pull their goalie during overtime?
No, this was during the shootout.
I'm kidding. I'm being an ass.
I mean, obviously,
you didn't have to work too hard. Did you?
So the only way the Coyotes win if there's no goalie.
Sorry, I didn't mean that.
That's okay. I hear it all the time.
I know. Here's my okay. So Tampa Bay 35-16-3 on the season, 73 points. Arizona 19-28-8 with 46 points. They had no business winning that game last night, and yet there they did.
Got to give them credit. I mean, when a goalie gets that hot, I mean, you could beat anybody. So that's an awesome performance. But yeah, you're right. They suck, but it's nice to get a good win like that.
I was looking at the standings. Let me see here for a second. Their last 10, I think they're 6-4. Let me. I'm talking about the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh, the Coyotes, really?
Yeah, I think they are. 5-2-3. 5-2-3 in their last 10.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. Considering that the Lightning were coming into, and they're on a 2-game win streak, by the way. And the Lightning came in. They are 6-2-2 in their last 10, with a plus 34 differential. And I think they were winning. They had a winning streak going on, and we just hung an L on them. So see you later, Tampa Bay. Don't come back to the Mullet Arena.
I don't think they want to. I
don't think anybody wants to come back to the Mullet Arena.
Nobody wants to. Please, dear God, build this
Overwhelmed by the noise and the energy in that room. All right, 888-368-1580. Former Texas basketball coach Chris Beard. He had the charges dropped. That was sort of interesting the way this came out. Apparently, his fiance later came forward and said that Chris Beard acted in self-defense. That she was attacking him, and after careful and thorough review of the evidence, the county attorney said, Travis County District Attorney said, we're dropping the charges. Well, that's a little too late, don't you think, Mrs. True? Miss True? Don't you think it's a little too late?
I mean, she tried to take it back the day after he got arrested, but
Maybe just a tad too late.
But she didn't say at the time that she was doing the attack. It didn't come up. So I have no idea. I that whole situation, I have access to no information. The whole thing just seems screwy, and maybe they deserve each other. I don't know. It's
well, but now doesn't that cloud the whole situation? I mean, is this guy really kind of a jerk, or is he not?
I think there's not enough evidence to prove.
Seems like his fiance Randy True is maybe a jerkette.
I agree, but I don't know.
Hey, what's a guy to do if you have this, this clawed, she devil coming at you, swinging or wait, what do you do? What do you do in a situation like that?
I think like we've talked about it before is it's going to be obviously much harder, but you got to leave. Got to pull yourself out the situation.
She chases you.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah, what do you do then?
Sounds
What have
like
you done? What have you done, Keon? That's happened.
When that's happened, fortunately that has not happened to me. I've been always able to sort of pull myself out and get out of the situation entirely, and not have to worry.
So when you're in a situation with a bad girl, you've been able to pull yourself out.
If things get violent.
I was waiting for the music.
Yep. If things get violent.
So if it gets violent, you're pulling out.
Ooh. That is correct.
I've learned a lot about you today, Keon.
Yeah.
So have our listeners.
TMI. I shared more than I think I intended or wanted to.
All right.
I don't even know what I've said now.
Time to move on.
Chris Beard said he was pleased that the case was dismissed. Quote, while I always had faith and confidence in the truth and this outcome, it has been extremely challenging to wait patiently and not publicly respond. And quote, I'm sorry and deeply remorseful to my family, friends, and all my players and staff, both most recent and past, and everyone at my alma mater, the University of Texas, including the fans and supporters who were affected by this situation. I would also like to thank all of those, hate it when this happens, would also like to thank all of those, there he is, have reached out to express encouragement and love during this difficult time, end quote. I want to know if he's going to stay with this Randy True lady. I mean, there's no report on there if the happy couple is still, together.
Sure. Happy's not the word I would use, but I haven't seen anything.
Oh, come on.
Either, but it's just like, if you think, if you got arrested and you were the one being attacked, how do you stay together after that?
Well, I mean, now this is going to be a dark spot on his record going forward, whether he was innocent or not. I mean, he put his hands on a woman, even though she came forward and she said it was my fault and he was trying to defend himself. There is still going to be this reasonable doubt in somebody's mind, some university athletic director's mind or president of the university. Whether to hide this. This guy's career right now hangs in the balance.
I mean, did he hit her hard?
No, he didn't hit her. The thought I think what I saw was he restrained her. There was some like a chokehold. That sort of thing. I don't think he ever like.
So he didn't hit her.
It didn't look like it doesn't sound like he punched her.
And that was the thing. It didn't sound like he punched her, but like initially, what the charge was is okay. You choked her. So, he
had her in a damn chokehold. Settle down here. What the hell? Settle down.
Yeah. So obviously, if the police are called and show up and you've got your fiance in a chokehold, that is going to look a certain way, no matter what no matter what the explanation is. That's what it looks like. It looks like you're just choking out your fiance. So like I do think that's like that's the big issue there is obviously the police did what they could when they showed up, and then they even rescinded everything and said, well we're going to investigate, we're going to do some more digging, and this is sort of where we are now.
I think he can get out of this. I think he can fix his the way it looks. I mean, it doesn't sound that bad when you get into it. I mean, it's not like he Trevor Bauer or anything. So it seems like it's he can get it. It'll be okay.
No, they weren't doing the dirty.
He wasn't beating her or anything.
No,
It just sounds like he was restraining her. Maybe they were just having a moment. They don't have a history of it, hopefully. And I mean, I think
we know of. I mean,
he could survive that.
He can survive it, but he was, coaching at Texas was his dream job, right? Like that's his alma mater.
Yeah.
That's a school that he always wanted to coach for, and he got them to a good place. And
yeah, they were definitely trending upward, weren't they?
And they fired him.
I mean, will he coach again?
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know.
I think he can. I think he'll. I agree with Ralph. I think he'll land on his feet in that regard. But you don't get a second chance at your dream job like that. And I think Texas moved on it just in case. If it turned out that he was completely in the wrong, if they waited, they wouldn't have been able to fire him with cause, and they didn't want to have to pay him, on the back end of that. If they in turn, found out they were.
Why couldn't they just
wrong.
suspend him and just instead of just quick jerking and firing?
Because as I recall, and as the story points out, I mean, after the after the arrest, he did release a statement taking responsibility for his actions. He didn't say that he was the initiator, but he did take responsibility for his actions, which led to his release from being the head coach at Texas.
That's a shame.
And that's too bad that Texas just quick jerked on it and didn't wait for this thing to play out. But I mean, what are they going to do? They had to. This way, I mean, we were talking about December when this took place.
Yeah, they should rehire him.
Maybe
that'd be interesting. Why not? He's cleared. I mean, they know what it was now. Why not bring him back?
But now you got a guy that's leading the team. I mean, what does that do to your team?
Yeah,
the team's playing well. Like it's not like they fell off a cliff when he was gone. So they're just like, well, maybe we just.
I mean, maybe Chris Beard can go rebuild his career. He could start at like Sheboygan State or something. A D7 school.
See, and he doesn't have to do all that. He's not Rick Pitino. Like Rick Pitino was doing.
I don't know though.
So many wrong things. Well, because he got cleared, and that's the difference between him and so many guys that have had to go. I mean, I don't even know where Sean Miller wound up, but like the fact that he was being investigated for
Sean Miller, isn't he at Xavier?
Yes, that's where he is. So like, guys have to start at these smaller schools, but in the case of Chris Beard, if you are a program and you need a shot in the arm, he's an incredible recruiter and coach.
Yeah, but he's still going to have to figure out something. I mean, he's a young man. He's a young man.
Yeah. But I don't think he's going to have to start over from, some D3 school. I mean, he'll be able to get to, I think a pretty good program after this.
Baker's Cocky Hen says Bauer was totally different than Beard. Bauer's girl wanted it. Well, I don't know about that.
Well, I don't think any of us knows about that.
I don't think that's the case at all. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what came out, but
probably need to pre-read before I just jump in at these things.
Kind of, yeah. That's a weird situation.
Hook'em Hottie says, I think that when you coach at that level, this is a safe one. She's safe. Hook'em Hottie. I think when you coach at that level, you shouldn't get yourself in those questionable situations to begin with. But wait, let me stop you right there. She's got more to say. Let me stop you right there. But it wasn't his fault. I mean, apparently this thing started as a verbal disagreement about something.
I mean,
and
life
then she went all like she devil on him. She went crazy. He was fighting for his life. Well, maybe I'm over dramatizing a bit, but
just a touch.
She goes on to say, it's unfortunate that Texas fired him before knowing all the facts, but he'll get another job. Yeah. Sheboygan State.
Should go Oklahoma or Texas Tech. That's where he should go.
Ooh. Damn.
Well, I don't know if he can do Texas Tech because he was there. And then he left to go to Texas, and they hate him now. So
Oklahoma.
So maybe Oklahoma, but that would make me very sad. I hope he doesn't do that. I don't want him to see him in Oklahoma. That would kill me.
I mean, if I was him, that's what I'd want.
Yeah, right? No, that's probably, if you want revenge, that's the best way to do it. But yeah.
Big George just asked the question: Sweaty Sean Miller still coaching in basketball?
He is.
I thought he went with Cliff Kingsbury to Thailand to join some time in Bangkok.
No, he is still
Hook 'em, Audie. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. Doesn't matter. Walk away.
Walk away from somebody
the
attacking you.
she devil that's attacking you.
And that's the thing, is that's why I'm not really trying to speculate too much, because I don't know how possible it was for him to walk away. Like maybe it was. Like maybe it was just he restrained her when it really could have just been as simple as the door's right there. But maybe it wasn't that simple. And I just don't know. I have no idea. None of us were there. And I think even the charges being dropped was just lack of evidence, not this guy's innocent per se.
Boomer Sooner. Hey now, Oklahoma.
Boomer
Kinda
Sooner,
like,
please. Now come on. Don't get
That's
greedy.
interesting.
Don't get greedy, Boomer Sooner.
Fighting Wampa says, sounds like Chris Beard was stuck in limbo. He didn't know if he should knock her on her kisser or kiss her on the knockers. Okay, another one. I probably should have pre-read that one.
Why?
Is it Friday?
It's Thursday, actually. We
okay.
didn't
All
quite make it.
The Thirsty Thursday here on the Daily Blender. When we come back, we got more to talk about. We lost another good one, and we'll talk about Tim McCarver when we come back, and so much more for you. And of course, your text at 888-368-1580. The Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
When you run a business, you need to be in control. And while you can't control everything that happens in the world of business, you can definitely take control of your utility expenses with the help of Harmon Solar. Give them a call and see how your company can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-902-8811. 800-902-8811. That's 800-902-8811.
No one else does what I do in diamonds. Hi, Diamond Dave Cantor, the only wholesale diamond dealer open to you by appointment. I import diamonds directly from cutters from around the world. We have the lowest overhead office of anyone in the diamond business. No one else with fourth generation connections, direct diamond importing, and design and manufacturing works directly with you except me.
No one else can do what Diamond Dave does. Call him today at 480-397-2450. Reach him on Instagram at Diamond Dave KANTOR.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a new Samsung laundry set with extra large capacity, serving up a powerful yet gentle clean in just 28 minutes. Making this the sound of savings on the best appliance brands. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. Get up to 25% off select appliances, including Samsung. Ends March 1st. Pricing valid February 9th through March 1st, 2023. Gas Dryer Extra, US only. See store online for details.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canier with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
If you hit, pass it, dunk it, shoot it, check it, throw it, putt it, or block it, then we're going to talk about it. I like that. I just thought I'd clear that up. 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Yeah, big weekend of events happening here on the big station.
Coming up this weekend, we've got GCU basketball Friday night against Abilene Christian. That's at 8:45. Saturday, Seton Hall at UConn at 10 a.m. Seton Hall's going to get their butts kicked. We'll talk about that with tomorrow with Keon on the college basketball dance party. Baylor at Kansas should be a Big 12 shootout. Should be a lot of fun. And then on Friday night, 7 p.m. at St. Mary's at Sunny Slow Boys Open Division quarterfinals basketball action. Sunday on the big station, 11:30. It's the Daytona 500, which is it's like a holiday for me. You guys are probably not NASCAR guys.
So, I like watching NASCAR.
It should be a lot of fun this year. The guys have been in this new car, so they know what it can and can't do. Especially Ross Chastain. He's the guy that drove around the outside fence trying to get a win, and everybody was went crazy about that at Martinsville, and they have outlawed that move. He can no longer do
that. Guy did a really fun thing. Let's take that away so that no one can do that fun thing ever again.
Kind of reminds me of the No Fun League that the football teams play. Silly Wabbit says, yes, true love. Get it? Look, Silly Wabbit, anytime you have to explain a joke, it's not funny. So I'm going to have to whistle you for that one. That's a couple of minutes in the penalty box. And yes, I think we did get it. CK says, good afternoon, fellas. Ranty Randy, beer me, will ya? All right. Jeffrey with another day off, shake my head. One day closer to KD. Randy Ralph, let's let it go. Holdbury literally held Juju twice on the same play. The call was correct. Also, suck it, Ralph. It was all caps.
I think we did let it go, didn't we, Randy?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah,
we went back and forth on it, and then we moved on.
Fish Tank says, we all know a guy who stayed in a bad relationship too long, and it's always because she was a 5-star recruit and Sheboygan State. Cecil doesn't like that joke. Whatever you meant by that.
I don't quite get it though myself.
All right, 888-368-1580. Yeah, it's sort of a sad day. We lost another good one. Tim McCarver, 81 years old. He passed away today. Just one day after Raquel Welch. I wonder what's going on there. I never saw the two together, but
jeez.
Anyway. Veteran MLB catcher with St. Louis, won a couple of World Series with the team, television baseball commentator, National Baseball Hall of Fame a member. He passed away yesterday, and he was a good dude. I mean, he and Deion Sanders didn't get along. I remember when Deion Sanders was on the Braves, and McCarver was calling the World Series. And he was in the he and Deion had a little feud going, and McCarver had said something about Deion Sanders, maybe about him always being too flashy or showing up everybody, this, that, and the other. Anyway, Deion came in with a bucket of ice water while he was doing a live interview and dumped it on McCarver's head.
That's right. I remember that.
Live TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I remember that.
So
the whole clip is just insane because it's Deion
going,
oh, McCarver's here, where is he? And somebody says, oh, he's over there, and that person had to know exactly what was going to happen next when he said that. He had to know.
So he had a long career in baseball. He had a longer career as a broadcaster. I never got to meet the guy, but I understand he was a classy dude. Except for with Deion Sanders, I think Deion and him didn't like each other. So
I put him just not at the same level, but just below probably Vin Scully. I mean, he was a great announcer.
He was always so knowledgeable, even though he was older and he was in the booth and he hadn't played the game in a while. He was always a student of the game. He was always on top of what was happening. And
I enjoyed listening to him.
Yeah, I did too. And he had great stories too.
Yeah.
It's
not Bob Uecker stories, but he had great stories.
And if you're not, you don't get to cover 23 World Series if you're not you're not great. You
No,
know,
that's true.
a quarter
Yeah.
century worth of World Series. That's a great career right there.
Yeah.
Inducted into the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame in 2016. He won the Ford C. Frick Award for Broadcasting in 2012. He also won 3 sports Emmys during his career. I mean, the guy did it all. Pretty much a class act. I mean, I don't think anybody could speak anything bad of him. He's the guy that actually broke Joe Buck in. Joe Buck started broadcasting, and McCarver was his partner. So I'm sure that Joe Buck has fond memories and fond things to say about the Cardinal legend. But yeah, he's gone too soon. Tim McCarver, Godspeed to you, my friend. 888-368-1580. We got a lot to talk about. Celtics have gone ahead and removed the interim tag from Joe Mazzulla, and they're naming him the permanent head coach, officially replacing Ime Udoka. Now you just want to make sure Joe Mazzulla, isn't fooling around with somebody in the front office there. You want to make sure this time it's for real. You know what I mean?
Well,
You
now they
can't
know
be-
to look out
Can't
for
be
it.
in the broom closet there in the executive portion of the building. You know what I'm saying? Jeez. Okay, I still don't understand everything that was going on because Ime Udoka wasn't married, right? I mean, he was single and ready to mingle, wasn't he?
No.
Oh,
I don't think he was married, but he had a girlfriend, and it was Nia Long. Why would you cheat on Nia Long? But
Well,
regardless, anyway, I don't know. If you're dating Nia Long, how do you?
Maybe she's a she-devil.
Could be. See,
looks don't mean everything, man.
I get that, but it's just like, then you're not married. You could just break up with her. You didn't have to fool around. You could have just broken up with her, and then you would have been single, which you still probably shouldn't do stuff like at the team facility, like
in the broom closet
or anywhere else.
I mean, you could like the basketball president, whatever his name. Brad Stevens. He's probably. Do you hear that knocking? Sounds like there's a couple of skeletons in the closet over here. What the hell's going on?
I mean, what's worse, that or choking somebody?
Listen,
they got to pick one. Which one?
Was it violent? I don't think it was violent. Ime Udoka was just
all I know, and they
getting a little
still
honey at work there.
Isn't enough information that came out from there, but the way that press conference looked, it was incredibly somber. There is more there than what we know, and I hope it's nothing crazy. But it's it's a really bad situation when you have a guy that's supposed to be leading the team and he's doing the extracurriculars at the facility. Like you can't. I mean, come
Doing
on,
the basketball bump. Promotion of Mazzulla. He was 34 years old, brings the Celtics' messy Udoka chapter to a close. He was hired to be Boston's head coach in 2021. Just 15 months later, the Celtics suspended Udoka, as who we're talking about here, for the entire 22-23 season due to a, quote, volume of violations, end quote, of team policy.
Volume.
And he had a consensual, intimate relationship with a female staffer, which, in parentheses here, is a violation.
Yeah, there's some places where it's like, look, you're the big boss. You're the guy that's got a lot of influence. All of these other employees, you can't. Like a lot of NFL teams have rules about NFL players. The cheerleaders, off limits. They're just off limits. You just can't. You can't date them. Don't talk to them. They're off limits. Just leave them alone. There's so many other women in this city. Find one of them. And
he already had a woman. I mean,
yeah, that's the thing.
He already had a gal.
And I believe that they had a kid together too. Like it's just a whole horrible situation.
Oh, that
like,
changes things.
Yeah, it's so like it's just control yourself, man. But I do think that at least, hats off to Joe Mazzulla, who took advantage of the opportunity. He's doing an incredible job. It's like
kind of had to. He was kind of forced into it, wasn't he?
Ime never left. It's just like the team's cruising, man.
All right. Another NBA news. Did you see this remark that LeBron James had made on the Lakers trades here? And after the game last night, he said, "We did a really good job," end quote. What the?
He's right.
LeBron James made those moves?
I don't believe that he did.
We
I'm
did
sure he
a
had input.
really good
Yeah.
job.
But I don't think any of those moves get made without passing him, by LeBron.
I'm sure he had something.
That's just the way
Is
that
LeBron
works.
the puppet master of the Lakers now? Is he like behind the scenes,
No.
working the puppet, Rob Pelinka, trying to make it go?
No, but I think he has that respect of the organization, just like Kobe did, or just those guys like Michael did, where the ownership's going to run things by them and get their input. Doesn't mean they're going to do what they say, but I think you're going to get their input. I think you have to.
We did a really good job.
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't he acknowledge that the owners and the GM did a really good job? Did he have to name himself?
I think that's what he
among
means
that?
as we, like, they're all the Lakers. That not just the players, but the front office guys. That's all we. I don't know. I'm not going to read too much into that. I just think that when you're a superstar of LeBron's caliber, they're going to ask you stuff. I mean, for God's sakes, I was reading some stories about how when the Chiefs traded Tyreek Hill, they sat down and told Patrick Mahomes, like, dude, this is what's happening, and he didn't like it, but they ran that past him because that's what you do.
I don't know. I guess if for example, okay, let me put it in CRC broadcasting terms. I'm in my production room office in there, and I'm working on a commercial, and Radio Ron comes in and says, "Hey, we're going to replace Keon, and we're going to bring in this other guy." What I wouldn't go out and say we did a really good job here by replacing Keon.
Yeah, but that's a negative.
Yeah, but if you like, if for instance, Ron hired a sales guy, and the sales guy's awesome, and we just all noticed, like, wow, this guy's killing it.
We did a really good job.
Then, we brought in a sales guy that's amazing. I'm not saying that I did it, but we are all.
I guess I'm just not that guy. I mean, if I didn't make the decision, if it was just run by me, I didn't really do anything. I just, okay, all right,
I think you're reading too much into it.
I wouldn't have the audacity to go, we did a really good job.
I think if you asked him to be specific about who is we, he would tell you Rob Pelinka and the guys in the front office.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just me.
But they're all the Lakers, so
All right, 1 hour down, 2 more to go. It's a Daily Blender here on 15. We did a really good job.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name's Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears radio show, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. I am here today to make the statement that just because we're in a bear market does not mean that you have to be losing money. Just like Michael Burry and Warren Buffett, bear markets should be where real generational wealth is created. But most will follow the same broken strategy that lost them in the last bear market. We are inviting you to come to an intensive 3-day trading and investing class where we will show you the trading and investing strategies of the market wizards. This class is typically $299, but right now, for 66% off, you can join us in this class. Just call 8448-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337 and tell the operator you want the $99 3-day class, or text $99 to 25029. That's $99 to 25029.
It's time to think about your tax refund. And Jackson Hewitt wants you to think biggest, as in, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund or your money back plus $100. Who offers that? Come to think of it, nobody. It's one of the biggest guarantees out there and why you can't just file with anybody. For your guaranteed biggest refund, go to Jackson Hewitt today. Your wallet will thank you. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
Homeowners age 62 and older, now it's time to act. This is Rob Kane, your retirement mortgage specialist and host of the Retire Right with Reverse Rob show on 1510 KFNN. Yes, listing prices are down, but home values still remain at very high levels. Don't wait to learn more about the new and improved home equity conversion mortgage. This is a safe and proven coordinated strategy in retirement, which will improve your monthly cash flow, lower your tax liabilities, and make your retirement portfolio last longer. Call me today, Reverse Rob at 602-REVERSE, or on the web at www.reverserob.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
It's 4 o'clock in the Valley on the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Mega Complex in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. It is uptown, or is it central? What do you guys think, that like central or uptown?
Uptown.
I would say uptown.
Uptown. All right, 3-0 uptown. Uptown Scottsdale. You're texting in on the text line at 888-368-1580. Right over there from Harmon Solar, there he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That's Ralph Romano. Next to him, the sexiest man in sports talk radio. That's Keon Rose. My name is Randy White. Jeffrey O'Brien is out today. Lots to talk about this hour. We're going to kick it off really quick here with some NFL free agency stuff. And there's a list of the top 25, what CBS Sports says is the top 25 offensive players, including quarterbacks. And you've got right guards on here, left guards, right tackles, tight ends, left tackles, running backs. You've got a plethora of information here on these players, where they are playing at, and what they're unrestricted free agents. So, and how old they are. So guys, let's talk some NFL free agency. The number 25 player they have on here, and he's not on a team, and but he has been thrown off of some good airlines. Odell Beckham Jr., who's
Dirty Beckham,
who's 30 years old. He's an unrestricted free agent. Oh, in your estimation, Ralph, I'll start with you. In your estimation, where does Odell Beckham Jr. end up?
On the couch.
So you don't think he's going to play for any teams?
I don't. I mean, I think his time has passed personally. I mean, he's had his run. I don't, maybe some team will try to pick him up for some pennies, but I wouldn't want him. I don't know if anybody else would.
He's going to want more than just the like the standard, or
I don't know. I think he's yesterday's news. I don't know that he plays anywhere.
Okay. How about you, Keon? Where do you think OBJ ends up? On the couch?
I think that half of the AFC South might be interested, just because they don't have receivers. Like if you just look at what the Titans have, when they moved on from AJ Brown, they tried to replace him with Treylon Burks in the draft, and it didn't work out. And they don't have talent at the wide receiver position. The Texans also don't have talent at the wide receiver position. You could also make the argument about the Colts, but the Colts have like B-level guys. It's not like they have no talent. It's just not, they don't have the A+ guy. So I'm not going to ruin what I have with the Colts trying to get Odell Beckham Jr. But if you're Tennessee, you might as well take a risk there, because you were winning the title 2 years ago, and now you're not even close. I think they need that shot in the arm, something for Ryan Tannehill as a weapon to use. So I would say Tennessee would probably be, and then they fired the general manager, so their philosophy is going to change a little bit from we just run the ball to maybe we're going to open things up and start pushing it downfield.
With Ryan Tannehill, though, I mean,
Ryan Tannehill's got the arm; they just don't use it. I mean, like he can throw. That wasn't the problem. But they were a
he
power
was just throwing
running
to the wrong people.
Well, when they had AJ Brown, it was working out. They were throwing the ball downfield, but it was off of play action because they're a power running football team. But now that identity might change a little bit, and you might want some talent at wide receiver. You take a swing at Odell Beckham Jr., but yeah, I don't think you should pay a lot of money for him. And I think that he might not go to a team if he thinks that the market isn't going to pay him what he wants. But I do agree with Ralph to a degree that there may not be any market for what Odell Beckham Jr. wants. And guys have disappeared out of this league before without realizing like, oh, wait, the market isn't there for me. Like Des Bryant was a guy that I think a lot of people wanted at one point in time, after his fallout with the Cowboys, and he just never got back because the market wasn't there for what he wanted. And then he just disappeared. The league will move on.
Well, Antonio Brown too.
Antonio Brown. Well, that wasn't a market thing with Antonio Brown. He's just crazy.
Well,
but yeah, the league will move on from Antonio Brown as well. Yeah.
All right. So second guy, they've got him ranked 23, which is surprising for me. Miles Sanders, 25-year-old running back from the Eagles. He's an unrestricted free agent. Do the Eagles double down and bring him back, or is somebody else on the market going to pick him up? What do you think, Keon?
I don't know if the Eagles bring him back. As we talked about it earlier, 13 guys are going to be in free agency. Some of these guys are going to want to get paid. I understand that Lane Johnson, the tackle, wants to come back, so that obviously helps. You're going to have to convince Jason Kelce to continue to stay on board. He's not sure whether or not he's going to continue to play, but he's going to take some time to think about it. And there's a bunch of other mouths you have to feed. So you're just going to have to say no to some people. And I think that the way that they run the football and the way that their identity is built around what Jalen Hurts does as a runner, that and the fact that running backs are relatively replaceable, through the draft, I don't think you need to spend the money on a Miles Sanders if you're the Philadelphia Eagles.
Cecil the Wonder Dog agrees with you. What do you think, Ralph?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. They don't need to spend the money. I think they'd like to bring him back.
Yeah. If you can get him at a good price, I think they absolutely do it.
I mean, he's not exactly what you would call high paid right now. He's like ranked 29th as far as salaries or something like that. I thought I just read. But anyway, yeah, I think they'd like to bring him back. I don't know. You're right. I don't think that that's going to be their top priority. And there's a lot of teams out there that can use a back. I mean, and
he's only 25, and because of their system, he doesn't have the wear and tear that a lot of guys have. So
yeah, you're right. I mean, I think a running back is pretty solid until he's about 30, and then they're done. So I think he's got a good 5 years left on him. So there'll be somebody for him if the Eagles don't bring him back. Maybe the Cardinals will get him. I don't know.
All right, so this is interesting here. The Browns, are they going to re-sign Jacoby Brissett? He's an unrestricted free agent. He is 31, or does he return to a backup role on a different team? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the Chiefs.
I mean, they are losing Chad Henne. I think the Browns ultimately bring him back. He knows what they want from him. He knows the system, and having a quality backup is never, a bad thing. And I think it would be easier to figure out what's our number for Jacoby Brissett and come to an agreement on what him and his agent would like. Because I don't think Jacoby Brissett's trying to break the bank or anything. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, I think the Browns probably keep him.
All right, Juju Smith-Schuster. Ralph, I'll start with you. Just won a Super Bowl with the Chiefs. Do the Chiefs bring him back? Do they put him back on another, 1 year or 2 year thing with incentives? Like he found out about that $1 million Super Bowl bonus that he got. Do you think he ends up back at Kansas City, or does he go somewhere?
I think he wants to go back, and I think the Chiefs probably want him back. And it probably will be more incentive later than just giving this guy a ton of money. But I think the Chiefs need him. I think he's an important role player for them. I think he's important in Patrick Mahomes. I like him. I think he's a quality guy. I think he makes them better. I think he'll be back. I don't see him leaving. I mean, why would you want to leave that team right now? They've won 2 of the last 4 Super Bowls. There's a lot of talent there. They're probably going to run a few more. I wouldn't doubt it. I see him staying there and trying to be part of that.
Keon, answer me this one. Jacoby Myers, is the Patriots going to bring him back? He's only 26, and they need wide receiver help, and he seemed to be a primary guy for him. Do they bring him back?
I think they have to, and I don't think that Bill's strength is drafting wide receivers. If you've got a guy like Jacoby who can really play, who Mac Jones seems to like a lot, you gotta bring him back. And I don't think that there's going to be a bunch of teams like crawling over the top of each other to get to Jacoby Myers to where they're going to blow his number up to where the Patriots can't afford it. But they have to. They're one of those teams that not only should they bring Jacoby Myers back, maybe they should look at a DeAndre Hopkins or somebody to add to that, because they don't have the wide receiver talent on that team. I think that, Odell's just not a good fit for them, but they have to bring back Jacoby Myers. I don't think they have a choice.
All right. I think we all three can agree that Saquon Barkley is not going anywhere. The Giants are going to pay. They're going to back the Brinks truck up, as Jeffrey likes to say, and just pay him, right?
I think they need to be careful how big that truck is, but I wouldn't way overpay for that guy. But I mean, I think they want to keep him. Yeah.
I agree. Zeke Elliott is the blueprint of what can go wrong when you pay a guy. And then I don't think it's Zeke's fault, but he got hurt and he just hasn't been the same guy since. So I don't want to overdo it with the running back, but also Saquon Barkley was the entire offense. So you do need to try to bring him back.
All right. Speaking of Zeke, the 12th or ranked 12 in this free agent poll here, Tony Pollard for the Cowboys. He's 26 years old, but listen, the last couple of years, this guy's been valuable to this team. Do they pay him and bring him back, or does he escape off into the NFL somewhere?
If they don't bring back Tony Pollard, they're insane.
No,
I mean,
Jerry is the guy. So
he is the guy, but I think
just saying,
even Jerry has to be able to see their offense when Tony Pollard's not there, like the handful of games that he does miss from time to time. It's just not the same. They need his quickness, his burst, his ability to catch balls out of the backfield. They need all of it because Zeke can get you the goal line stuff, but he doesn't have the explosiveness he used to have. You got to have Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if you have to restructure Zeke.
I agree.
All right. What about the Raiders? Do they bring Josh Jacobs back? He's an unrestricted free agent now.
Yeah, absolutely. You better bring him back, in my opinion. I mean, I think you need him more than anybody right now.
I don't know. They just let Derek Carr walk. So,
well,
that's all the more reason because,
yeah, I mean,
like,
I agree.
Where you going at quarterback and like having a running back who kind of does everything. You know, he's another one of those really versatile guys. I think if you don't bring him back as the Raiders, especially with a little unclear future at what you're doing at the quarterback position, you're basically giving up the division to everybody else in the division.
And I think he'll work really well with Aaron Rodgers when he gets over there. So
you think Aaron is going to land there after his 4 days of darkness?
I do. I think that's where he's going. I don't think he's going back to Green Bay. I think that's done and over. I don't think he's going to go to the Jets. I know people are saying that. I think he's going to go to the Raiders.
Okay, this is a guy I think that the Chiefs really need to bring back. This is the security blanket for Patrick Mahomes, the left tackle, Orlando Brown. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's only 27, but he's like that security guard, at Patrick's back fence. Do they bring Orlando Brown back on the Chiefs?
Have to. I mean, they when they lost that Super Bowl to the Buccaneers, a lot of that was they realized our offensive line is garbage. It's just not working. And they went out and made a very strong move and got Orlando Brown from the Ravens because he wanted to play tackle. The Ravens had him playing guard, and it worked out beautifully. I mean, he's been playing tackle. He's been an amazing right tackle for them. And look at what that offensive line was able to do when they were all together in that Super Bowl. The most productive defensive line in football got 0 sacks in the Super Bowl. You got to keep that offensive line together if you can. Orlando Brown is one of the big parts of that. Bring him back.
There are a lot of offensive linemen that are on this list. So I want to kind of stop here because there are guys on this list that if Monty Ossenfort is the man, we'll go out and get some of these dudes. Terrence Steele from the Cowboys, the right tackle. Jawan Taylor of the Jaguars, the right tackle. I mean, Orlando Brown is out there. I mean, it doesn't hurt to pick up a phone and give his agent a call and see if you can work something out. I mean, to bring him into to Arizona, there's a number of guys on here. Dalton Schultz with the Cowboys. He's only 27. He's a tight end. I mean,
but he blocks well too.
He's a good blocker. So
I just don't think you want to break the bank. I mean, to do that. I mean, I agree with you. To me, the offensive line is the critical part of being successful, especially if you have Kyler Murray behind him. You're going to need to give him time to figure something out. But I mean, I don't want to break the bank on an offensive line, but I do want to. I'm big about going after that line in the draft. If you have,
so you like drafting guys.
I mean, that's what Seattle did last year. I mean, look at their two tackles. They're both rookies. They played all year. Those guys are fantastic. I mean, that's a big advantage if you can go do that through the draft. I mean, if you have a free agent, these left tackles, they're like gold. They're expensive. I mean, you're going to go get one of these guys. You're going to pay a lot of money for them, and deservingly so. But I mean, I'd rather do that in the draft than I would in free agency. Just me.
All right.
And you can do it in free agency, but I don't think that you need to get the high end guy. I think I'd rather go get an average guy, because then if for instance, like the Cardinals have a lot of problems on the offensive line, it's not just one guy. So at that point, try and get a group of more average guys so you can have at the very least an average O-line, and you can build from there.
I'm looking at the text line.
Uh-oh.
CK says, Keon, screw your monogamy.
Wow. Where'd that come from?
Just flat out screw your monogamy. That's it. Just one
listen,
sentence.
You if you commit to one person, commit. If you want to have the non-monogamy, you got to talk about that first. You can't just go and do it. That's called cheating.
Keon, you were raised right, so your mom did a good job.
What on earth are we talking about here?
Kyle G says Gardner Minshew is a free agent. They're over the cap and can't sign everyone. Gannon was one of his coaches. Randy, are you ready for some Minshew mania in the Valley? Yes, yes.
If Steichen was the guy that they got instead of Gannon, I would be more likely to believe that happens.
What a dumb move. Anyway.
I need to just sit here for a moment and just take that in. Gardner Minshew in the great state of Arizona. I don't know that this state is big enough for Gardner Minshew.
At least not his mullet.
I mean, you talk about a damn treasure, an American treasure. Gardner Minshew is an American treasure. Fighting Wampa asked the question, Ralph, do the Lakers respect LeBron James, or do they fear LeBron James leaving the franchise if they don't do what he asks?
No, I think they have a good enough relationship now where I don't think there's fear. I think they respect him. Yeah. Look, I think the guy's a douche. I've said it a million times on this show, but I respect his game. I mean, the guy's a baller. She's all-time leading scorer. Give me a break, right? I mean, the guy's an absolute legend, and he's one of the top 5 guys to ever play the game. But I think it's respect at this point, not fear.
And of course, he's proven that like when he singles out a player that he wants to play with him, he has a pretty good idea of what he's doing. Like when he was in Cleveland, all the guys that he requested that the team pay, like Tristan Thompson, or go out and get like Kevin Love, that team won a championship. And
did they talk to him about bringing in Russ?
Yeah,
I think they did.
And would he go ahead and say we did a really bad job?
No, I think he'd say Russ did a really bad job.
Yeah, it wasn't a really great fit,
man.
but I don't.
It just wasn't. Yeah.
But even at the time, I don't think he was like throwing Pelinka under the bus. Like, what the hell? Why did they go out and get?
Well, hell no, because Pelinka's not the real GM. He's just a figurehead.
Pelinka is the real GM.
No, he's a real GM, and he just made some great moves.
Because in the end, like the GM's got to also make like the money work and all that other stuff. LeBron can't do that because he's not actually a general manager.
Cecil the Wonder Dog does not agree with either one of you guys.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. For some reason, 5711 just continually is writing ASU. Just
what about it?
Okay, at 406 it was ASU, and again at 406 it was ASU. This is a new texter, ladies and gentlemen, at the 5711. New texter on the text line 5711 ASU.
Maybe you should give him the texter named Tourette's.
Oh, no.
Well, it is in all caps, but it doesn't have the exclamation points. I don't know. Pippi No Stockings is on the text line.
Yeah, don't read your text.
When you have an argument with your significant other, violence is never an answer. You have to use clever, sinister, non-criminal maneuvers to even the score. We'll have to share what Ralph has been subject to over the years.
Just say I've been poisoned more than once.
Oh, no.
Pippi No Stockings. We need to know more about this. The moist one says, after Kenneth Gainswell playoffs performance, I think you have to say bye-bye to Miles Sanders. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. And he also says Treylon Burks is going to light it up next year. Treylon Burks is going to light it up next year.
I mean, I hope so. I think he's got a lot of potential, and like his player comparison when he was in the draft was AJ Brown. That's why they thought they could replace AJ Brown. It just didn't work year one. But John Robinson made that draft pick. He's made other wide receiver picks that other people have scratched their head and it actually worked out. So I don't think that Treylon Burks is done yet. I'm not going to call him a bust or anything, but rough start.
Silly Wabbit says the Cardinals should make a bid for Orlando Brown. I agree. I mean, I don't think you're going to get him. I don't think the Chiefs are going to let Orlando Brown go anywhere. I don't think Patrick Mahomes may give him some of his money to keep him there because he's like a security guard.
Yeah, he should.
He guards that back fence, man. And you got to have a good dude, somebody that is able to stay up with whatever you're doing as a quarterback that can guard you. I mean, it's not so important from the right side, but I mean that blind side, you've got to have somebody on there that's going to help you out. But I would say 100% we should make a bid for him, but don't expect to get him. Hefty Lefty says the ideal way to draft a line is to draft tackles and go get guards in free agency. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I
mean, there's a lot of guards out there on the free agency list. I'd like to see Monty Ossenfort get busy and get some of these guys in here. Now, I want to be quick to say, I don't know what his forte is. It's going to be really interesting, I think, you guys, to see what Monty Ossenfort is all about, to see how he drafts. I mean, we all knew that Steve Keim was he was all hot and heavy for defensive players all the time. So
how do you feel about the coach he brought in?
Well, I mean, I don't mind it. I think there were other guys I'd rather have, but I don't mind it. The guy just led his team to the Super Bowl. He had a top line defense for the NFC. Now, yeah, the Chiefs kind of showed up and shredded them, but I don't think that speaks poorly of him. Jonathan Gannon. I mean, I think we give him an opportunity to see what he can do.
I think Jeffrey's team got the better of the two. That's who you really wanted, in my opinion. But
but see, and I agree. One of the texters says that's not what Bidwell does. 1 year it's an offensive guy, the one coach is an offensive guy. When he's done and they fire him, then they bring in a defensive guy. He goes back and forth.
All I know is that Monty Ossenfort has something of a relationship already with Jonathan Gannon. I don't think that was necessarily the case with Steichen.
I will say, and I know we're really late for a break here, and this will be my last take on this. I did see some Twitter footage of Jonathan Gannon. He was leaving the facility, and Michael Bidwell said, "Oh, there's Kyler Murray," and he did go down and greet him, and it looked pretty cool. I mean, it looked like Kyler Murray was engaged. He was. They both had a pleasant meeting. It wasn't like. Kyler was just kind of shy. They handshook, and it looks like Jonathan Gannon's really excited to work with him. So, I mean, for what it's worth, in a Twitter interview or a Twitter video, I'm happy to see that, and I'm also happy to see how extremely hard Kyler Murray is working on that leg. So it's not like he's just laying around playing Call of Duty. So say what you will, I want to wait and see. This is a new beginning for me as a Cardinal fan. I think the rest of the Cardinal fans need to feel the same way, but hey, I'm not you. Let's take a break. When we come back, more of your texts, more sports to talk about. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
Using your phone should never have to be a luxury. Walmart Family Mobile now offers free or discounted plans for the Affordable Connectivity Program. ACP is a government program that helps eligible Americans have access to wireless service. You can get unlimited talk, text, and 8 gigabytes of high-speed data for free when you qualify. Apply now at myfamilymobile.com/ACP. Walmart Family Mobile is supported by the Affordable Connectivity Program and Lifeline, government assistance programs. Please visit myfamilymobile.com/ACP for more information.
GCU men's basketball is back on The Fanatic. Listen along with Lopes insider Paul Coro and the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, for every moment of exciting Lopes action.
Friday night, the Lopes welcome in Abilene Christian. Tip time is 9 p.m. live from the GCU Arena.
Listen all season long as the Lopes make their way through the WAC and try to punch their ticket into the madness of March. It's GCU Lopes basketball, only on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on this 16th day of February in 2023. It's Thursday, which means tonight it's the NBA on TNT. You can bet the NBA on TNT with a no-sweat same-game parlay from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Doesn't matter if you're new or you already have an account and you're a veteran player. Every Thursday night, you'll get bonus bets back if your same-game parlay doesn't hit. Same-game parlay is the perfect way to combine your bets for a bigger payout on your investment. However you choose to play, whether it's a same-game parlay and building your own same-game parlay, which is pretty easy to do on FanDuel. I mean, they lay a bunch of stuff out for you, and all you have to do is just click the boxes if you like what it is and build your same-game parlay. Or when you log into your account, you'll see that they've got a whole bunch of same-game parlays that other bettors have already built, and you can select that and lay your wager down on it. Just go to FanDuel.com/Randy1580 to learn more and download FanDuel today to get in on the action. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older, present in Arizona, 3 legs, minimum $1 bet required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus bet $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. The text line is humming along here. Blissful Hayes says, I take Gardner Minshew over Kyler anyway. At least Gardner cares about playing and wants to win. Now, see.
It's another one of those things you can't have both ways. You can't say that Kyler is out there on the field throwing tantrums and then also say he doesn't care. You got to pick one, because one, I think, is passion that's just misdirected. He's not handling things the right way, chewing out the coach, chewing out wide receivers. That stuff I could do without that stuff. But the dude clearly cares. You don't tear your ACL trying to run on a play if you don't care.
Well, I think sometimes you do have to chew out your wide receiver. Tom Brady, I've seen him do that.
Yeah.
You went out. You're supposed to go in on this. Come on, man. Stuff like that.
Yeah. For me with Kyler, there's a difference between, what looks like I'm giving you criticism right now because you just need to hear it, and throwing a fit. And sometimes you couldn't tell the difference with him.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and that's just a maturity thing that's going to come with time.
Go ahead,
you can't pick and choose when you want to be a leader. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, I get it.
You can't sit there and yell at somebody, but the rest of the time you're sitting there pouting instead of leading. So the wide receiver is not going to have a whole lot of respect for a guy doing that. I'm sure D-Hop didn't have a whole lot of respect for Murray at a lot of times during the season.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. I refuse to believe that Kyler Murray doesn't care. That's just, I think that's insane.
Well, and there have been videos of Kyler working out, and he's working out very ambitiously. He's working hard on that knee.
Even before the knee, look at Kyler. He's a stocky guy. That didn't happen by accident.
Well, he's a fire hydrant. He's really short, and he's really
but he added that weight because that was one of
Shetland pony legs to him.
The concern that
little Shetland pony.
Damn, Randy. Good God.
Well, I mean, look, let's just say it like it is. I mean, come on.
He's him being the size that he is, though. He knew he had to add the muscle on in order to be able to take some of the hits he's going to take in the NFL, and he did that. And he did that without anybody having to tell him.
Though, if he doesn't sign that contract last year, he's gone. This is not even a conversation.
Really? You think so?
Absolutely. Why would they hang on to this guy?
Scratch Me Because says, did you see Jeffrey's photo on the side of the milk carton? No. No. He's not missing. He's not missing. As a matter of fact, I know where he is, exactly where he is right now. So he's not missing. A-Wings 22. Come on, Ralph LaFlop, top 5 all time. Who over Jordan, Magic, Bird, Wilt, or Bill Russell's?
How do you not put the top scorer in NBA history not in the top 5? I mean, come on.
By the time his career is over, he might be top assists.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Now, am I going to put him over Jordan? Of course not. but everybody else, man. I'm sorry. I don't.
And I'm a big Magic Kareem guy. I'm a big Kobe guy, but it is what it is.
He's going to end his career as the points leader and assist leader.
I remember when Kareem got that scoring time. No one would ever touch that. So yeah, I mean, you have to hit him. He's top 5. He might even be top 3.
It's Patrick says LOLs ... and then says it's very hard to find a Cardinals fan to text in their opinion to this great show. Well, that's not true. That's not true.
So a lot of them do.
There's a lot of Cardinals fans out there.
A lot of negative Nancy's, but they're out there texting the show.
Negative Nancy. Excuse me?
What? Look, man.
What?
We were just talking about the coach the day they hired him, and people were like, "Oh, I don't know. I think they made a mistake," and the guy hadn't set foot in the state of Arizona.
Oh,
yet.
yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
a lot of negativity, but the fans are there.
Negative Nancy's. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
when the fans have been beat down the way they have the last so many years, I get it where they're coming.
I mean, I get it, but when you get a chance to start fresh, actually start fresh. I've been beaten down. Okay, I don't like all the people in this world.
You weren't supposed to talk about that on this show.
I know about a franchise disappointing you
Jeffrey
so often.
could get in some real trouble if you keep bringing that up.
Well, that's not what I was talking about. So I feel like you've accidentally incriminated some folks. I'm not.
There's no accident.
maybe it wasn't an accident. All I'm saying is that's not what I was talking about. I might have jumped the gun there.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Moist One says Cardinals have a better shot at Orlando Brown from the replacements.
That's funny.
Damn.
That's
I mean, why you gotta be so mean,
right? Just they got to pick up the phone anyway.
Silly Wabbit. As long as Monty doesn't focus on inside linebackers, tight ends for reaching and reaching for receivers, we should be okay. I mean, I agree. I agree. I've seen over the years the mistakes made when you had a shot at a quality lineman. It turned out, by God, to be quality lineman. And you could have got him, and you make some weird ass pick because the guy's a linebacker.
Right.
I don't get it. I mean, I just don't understand that kind of thinking.
I think this would show a lot if they do this, but I think what they need to do, take that pick and trade back and get more picks and really go at it this draft as many picks as you can get. I mean, you don't need to pick somebody at 3. You just don't.
You don't need to, but
you can get some picks for them.
There's a generational pass rusher that sits right there.
See, but I agree with Ralph.
I think you take them, but if not, then
one guy don't make a team though. You need more than one guy.
But I've heard that story before too. Generational pass rusher. We had a chance to pick up an offensive lineman, and we went with Robert Condici. I mean, and that guy, he was just a week before had a mask on, full of pot.
Oh, that was the Laramie Tunsil, his teammate. But don't worry, because there's like 17. Listen,
let's not take the quality offensive lineman. Let's take the pot guy with the giant mask on. Let's take him.
I was covering the SEC when Robert Condici was at Ole Miss. I got like 17 Robert Condici stories that you wouldn't believe. The guy's a complete head case.
I know, and we picked him up.
Which I couldn't believe. I honestly thought with everything that Robert Condici is, dude, be lucky to be a 3rd rounder.
No, we took him in the first round.
I know you did. I was stunned by that.
Last Optimist says, pretty sure if I ever mess with our kids, my wife will gut me and sell long pork sausages, sorry. Otherwise, nothing to fear.
What? That's dark. Are you saying that?
Why would you mess with
pretty sure if I ever mess with our kids, my wife will gut me and sell long pork sausages. Otherwise, nothing to fear.
Okay.
I guess the Chris Beard conversation of just I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. Let's get back to the free agency here. I've got some texts here. We'll try to get to those in a minute, but I got to cover some ground. We talked about Josh Jacobs. And we talked about Orlando Brown. Ralph, there's no way the Seahawks are going to let Geno Smith go away. They've got to re-up him after the season he had last year, right? I mean, you got to bring Geno Smith back, right?
I think you have to. there's been talk about, doing some things in the draft or giving Drew Lock a shot, but that's stupid. That's just the media. No, you bring him back and he wants to come back. It makes sense. He's comfortable there. The one thing, Gino's a really humble guy. And I mean, he really came out and said, hey, they believed in me when no one else did. And I think he's put a lot of value in that. So he wants to come back because he wants to stay with the franchise that gave him his opportunity and believed in him. So no, he's coming back. They said they're already close to a deal. I see that getting signed here in the next few weeks. And they'll absolutely bring him back. Gino's not going anywhere. Why would he?
If the Seahawks do anything in the draft, it's to get a project for the future. It's not to get a quarterback that you like. Anthony Richardson makes a lot of sense if they want to trade back and get him.
I agree,
because that guy has the highest upside of all the quarterbacks in this draft, but he's also the guy with the least amount of polish. So if you want to say, all right, sit behind Gino for like 5 years, and then when Gino's 38, 39, and we're going to run out Anthony Richardson because we've been preparing him for this moment, I got no problem with that. But you can't replace Gino right now.
No way.
All right. What about? There's been a lot of speculation about Jimmy Garoppolo. He could end up here. He could end up here. He could end up here. People are really speculating about it. But Keon, realistically speaking, where do you feel like Jimmy Garoppolo is going? And is it NFC South?
NFC South could be a potential spot. They're very desperate in the NFC South. The Buccaneers need to figure out what to do post Brady.
Yeah.
The Panthers need a quarterback.
Yeah.
The Falcons took a swing on Desmond Ridder. I don't think that he is their quarterback of the future. The Saints are obviously desperate enough that they were willing to trade for Derek Carr when Derek Carr would have been a free agent eventually. And they were still like, yeah, no, we'll do it if he wants to do it. So the whole NFC South is a potential landing spot. I think Washington's going to probably, pick up the phone and see what's going on there.
With Jimmy G?
With Jimmy G. I personally would not enjoy that, but I think that they would.
Why not?
I'm not a big Jimmy G guy.
He was having a heck of a year before he got hurt.
You just said why, like right there.
Because he gets hurt.
Because he got hurt. But also, I don't think Jimmy G has that kind of warrior mentality. He doesn't want to go out there and play. I've listened to old Patriot interviews where they talk about Jimmy G and his willingness to come back from injuries where the trainers cleared him. He just still didn't want to go back. Like that stuff bothers me. It bothers me a lot. I don't know in a team where they're looking for a leader. I don't know if Jimmy G's the guy that I want, but he is a talented quarterback, obviously. So I think that if you need a quarterback, and they do, you should pick up the phone and at least give him an interview.
Well, what about Derek Carr? That was my next question. We're up against the break. So I'll tell you what, let's just go. We'll jump into the break a little bit early. We'll come back and we'll talk about the top three guys: Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Lamar Jackson. The Ravens are not going to let Lamar Jackson go, or are they? It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-216-9922. That's 1-800-216-9922. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-216-9922. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
We are ready to duel in the desert.
Is there anything better than the sound of 3 races breathing life into a new NASCAR season? What about if it's at a state-of-the-art facility with stunning views of the Estrella Mountains and a famous, only one of its kind hillside? Well, then you must be talking about Phoenix Raceway. NASCAR weekend at Phoenix Raceway, March 10th through the 12th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
It's time to think about your tax refund. And Jackson Hewitt wants you to think biggest, as in, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund or your money back plus $100. Who offers that? Come to think of it, nobody. It's one of the biggest guarantees out there and why you can't just file with anybody. For your guaranteed biggest refund, go to Jackson Hewitt today. Your wallet will thank you. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
Homeowners age 62 and older, now is time to act. This is Rob Canyon, retirement mortgage specialist and host of the Retire Right with Reverse Rob show on 1510 KFNN. Yes, listing prices are down, but home values still remain at very high levels. Don't wait to learn more about the new and improved home equity conversion mortgage. This is a safe and proven coordinated strategy in retirement, which will improve your monthly cash flow, lower your tax liabilities, and make your retirement portfolio last longer. Call me today, Reverse Rob at 602-REVERSE, or on the web at www.reverserob.com.
1580 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com. Your home for sports.
It's the Daily Blender for a Thursday on the 16th of February here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. As we continue to head towards 6 o'clock tonight, so much to talk about. We're currently talking about NFL free agents. Got a few guys to talk about this hour, but let's go to the text line at 888-368-1580 because I can't wait to get to this one from Pippi No Stockings. Oh, Score evener story number 1, she says. When Ralph and I were newlywed, are you cringing yet, Ralph?
Always.
Ralph would work out every week morning at the gym. He'd shower there, change, and then he would head off to work. I offered to pack his bag every day. One day, Ralph had showered and was getting dressed when he was met with some bug-eyed stares in the locker room. I took a Sharpie and painted a giant happy face in the middle of his tidy whities. Front of his tidy whities.
She did that.
He was completely not suspecting. Mission accomplished. Don't mess with Pippi.
Lesson learned.
Damn.
Good Lord.
Should have divorced her right there.
So you stepped into those babies and pulled them up and didn't even look or anything.
Didn't even realize it. Talking to a bunch of guys in the locker room, and yeah, they're looking down on me, and I'm thinking, man, I ain't that attractive. So, yeah, it was interesting.
All right. All right.
Can we ban her?
Thank you, Pippi No Stockings. Thank you. We have till 6 o'clock to hear some more amazing stories about
No,
Ralph.
let's stop.
Blissful Hayes says, I agree that Kyler cares about the guaranteed $160 million.
I agree with that.
I mean, he cares about that too, but I mean, from what I understand, what people didn't like about Kyler this past season, and this is just from the reports that I've read, the truth is probably in there somewhere, but people thought that he was trying to take over the organization. I think the guy likes football, but I think he likes being in control more, but that it's not that he doesn't care about football. I think that is an insane thing to say about Kyler Murray.
Well, Blissful Hayes said it. Jag Dog says Keon Kyler does care about money and Call of Duty. CK says Keon Willow definitely cares about himself.
Did you call him Willow?
Yeah, calls him Willow.
I mean,
Willow Murray.
Maybe he does care about all of those things too. Okay, his caring about Call of Duty has been very much confirmed. I didn't say that any of those things weren't true. But he also cares about football, and it looks like a lot because you don't sit there and chew out your coach for making the wrong play call. You don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just he cares. Now, does that translate into wins? Because lots of people care.
Does he care more and yell more because he looks bad? He goes out there and looks bad, and then all of a
Certainly
sudden
seems like it doesn't.
It's everyone else's fault. I mean, that's kind of what it looks like.
I mean, I think that he doesn't accept responsibility easily, but that doesn't mean you don't care about the game.
Look, I think he'd be great in the XFL, and I really think he should consider going.
Damn. No,
you know,
I mean,
it's opening weekend. I think they could use him.
Straight fire.
Right?
Straight fire.
In the XFL.
I don't know.
Wow.
I take him. That's
I'd take him in the Seattle Dragons are looking at him right now.
You know, all I know is that, like, for me, and my team, I would take Kyler Murray.
Well, sure. What else you got?
But I just need, you know, like nothing. But I mean,
right.
with you know, and actually, I read something the other day that just made me very mad. They tried to trade for him, and the Cardinals said no. The Cardinals had the chance to fleece the Commanders and didn't do it. So, yeah, I think the guy's incredibly talented, but can somebody get through to him to where, you know, like, obviously he doesn't have a lot of the intangibles you want out of a quarterback, but I don't think that that's like impossible for someone to cultivate.
The Cardinals, 9857 says the Cardinals will have a solid draft on some years and take 2 steps back with one poor draft every other year. And 9857 is apparently a new texter because they opted in, and looks like their first text. 9857, new texter here on the Blender. Welcome to the show.
So Randy, you're obviously the big Cardinal guy. I mean, when's the last time the Cardinals had a solid draft?
Well, I think the Cardinals had a solid draft the year they got Isaiah Simmons, because I'm still not done with him, and I think they have misused him. I think that they've done him a disjustice because they haven't developed him. They're using him as sort of a. You remember back in the day when they used to have a linebacker or a safety, they called him the Monster Man. I think that's the way they're using Isaiah Simmons right now.
But to me, okay, they had a solid draft pick.
Well, they had a few other ones. I can't think right now at the top of my pointed head. But last year you brought in that kid from Tulsa. That again, another linebacker from Tulsa. Yeah, it hasn't panned out.
Right.
So but I have to wash all that away now because it's not Steve Keim in the front office making the calls. If they have another bad series of picks in this draft, I would have to say and I'm putting this to test that Michael Bidwell is meddling too much in this team.
Well, I think this coach needs to put his stamp on this team and get the guys he wants for his system, right?
You would hope, but I remember when Cliff Kingsbury first came here, Kingsbury didn't pick his staff. It was Steve Keim and Michael Bidwell that picked the staff for him.
And
over the past several years, sorry, Keon, let me make my point here, and then I'll get to you. Over the past several years, slowly trickling out of the Cardinals headquarters is Michael Bidwell this, Michael Bidwell that. Michael Bidwell has to run over the game tape of last week's game and give his input on to Cliff Kingsbury, and Steve Keim has to be involved, and Michael Bidwell has to go into Cliff Kingsbury's office and ask questions. You know, it seems like to me, Michael Bidwell is a meddling owner. And that if that's the case, then you've seen what's happened.
Yep.
And I think Monty Osenfort, he is a fresh GM. You got a fresh coach who's going to bring in a fresh coaching staff. And hopefully they'll make some moves and get the people in here they want in here without Michael Bidwell meddling. And then we'll see. We'll know for sure.
And I think that that's one of the pitfalls of when you hire a guy like a Cliff Kingsbury who doesn't have the NFL experience. You know, these other two guys, Osenfort and Gannon, they've got the experience. So they're more likely to know what they want. And the idea of letting the owner of the team and the GM of the team just build your entire coaching staff for you, you know, I mean,
that's what happened.
Put together your roster for you, and you're not really seriously having a ton of input is crazy. But maybe that's why those guys got extended. You know, if the reports are true about Michael Bidwell being a meddling owner, what better way to meddle than with two guys who are just going to do whatever you say, regardless. But he replaced them with two guys who are probably going to push back. So we'll see how that turns out.
Well, I mean, time will tell. Time will tell. I think I agree with about 75% of your guys' opinions about Kyler Murray. Sort of being aloof, maybe wanting to be a control guy, but going about it kind of pouting, wants to be a leader, doesn't know how to be a leader. You know what I mean? Is not used to losing because he's been on winning teams all the way through high school and in college years. And he's not used to all these losses. He's not used to all these L's. It's come easy for him. And he's always been treated as royalty. And now you get to NFL, and unless you're like damn good, they're not going to treat you like royalty. You don't just come walking in here and just start winning prizes. I mean, you got to earn it.
I mean, that new coach needs to go in there when they do actually have their real meeting and they do finally hire an offensive coordinator, whoever that's going to be. I mean, they need to sit Kyler down and say, hey, this is how we're going to do things. This is what we're going to expect from you. And
I would agree with that.
And if we don't see this from you, then you're not our guy, man. Because, your performance reflects my job security. So I need you to do certain things a certain way. And if it's not how you want to do it, then let's have that conversation now. That's what I would do with an employee that I hire, right? You're going to do it my way, and you're going to help me be successful, or I'm not going to have a need for you.
Well, I'm afraid, Ralph, that's what Michael Bidwell is saying to these guys. Right?
Oh, that you think he's doing that to them.
Exactly. He should just be an owner, man.
Well, if he's doing that to them, they're stupid for taking that job in the first place.
I look at Robert Kraft. All right, we can joke about him all day long, but the dude steps back and lets Belichick run the team, doesn't he?
For better or for worse, he does. Yeah.
Either way, but what has he done? He's won 8 Super Bowls. I mean, that's all. I mean, the guy's got rings, on both fingers. I mean, he's got Super Bowl trophies lined up in his office.
A good owner will put all their trust in the GM and the coach to make things happen.
And if you have some input, of course,
but it's
go in and
input.
say something.
It's input, but it doesn't mean a damn thing other than it's your input.
And there you go. That's my take on it.
And I agree with Ralph, by the way, on the Kyler Murray thing of like, let's come in and set the tone right away, because there is a way to get Kyler Murray to mature. I don't think that at 25 years old, it's all over and the dude can't be reached. I'm not the same person I was when I was 25.
Oh, I agree with that.
So I just think that like Kyler, let's get to him early, obviously, let him know what's what. And then, once you set that tone, you can build a relationship off of that.
And I will give him the benefit of the doubt only because Cliff Kingsbury was such a train wreck.
Yeah,
and he did nothing good for him.
I will.
So that's the only reason he gets some grace.
I would agree with.
Look at the difference in play between Trevor Lawrence last year and Trevor Lawrence this year, and the difference is an actual coach.
Yep.
Yeah. Licky Lips Johnson. No, this is a sports show. Actually, it's an entertainment show, and we just happen to be talking Cardinals right now. So what I need you to do, Licky Lips Johnson, is relax. Because we're going to get to some more. As a matter of fact, I'm turning the paper right now, and we're moving on to Derek Carr. Derek Carr, speculations are running amok that, he was at the Saints facility. He was there 2 days in a row, but there was all the drama that played out with the Raiders. He was going to not accept any trade, no matter what it was, forcing the Raiders' hands to release him. Of course, they had also forced him to release him before the $40 million payout. So there's that. But, I mean, again, NFC South. And I said this on the show here. If Kyler's going to be out half a year, who says, why don't you get somebody like a Derek Carr for a year? And then you have a quarterback competition after that season with Kyler Murray and him.
I don't think Derek Carr wants to go into a situation like that. I think he wants to go somewhere where he's the guy. Right.
But where would he be the guy at?
I mean, he could be the guy in Indianapolis. He could be the guy in New Orleans.
Half the AFC South, the entire NFC South.
If he goes to Indianapolis, I mean, when Jeffrey does finally come back, he may have a meltdown right here at Derek Carr.
I think he could be good for Indianapolis.
I think he could too, but I'm just telling you. I mean, Jeffrey.
I think Indy is so dead set on drafting a guy after the last 3 quarterbacks they've had. I just don't think Indy's going to do it, even though it would probably work. But I like the Jets. There's talent there. First off, it's a great defense.
But is he? I was reading something about one former football player. Maybe it was Tiki Barber that said he doesn't believe Aaron Rodgers is strong enough to be football quarterback in New York. I don't think Derek Carr is as well. I don't think he's tough enough to be in that New York limelight.
I think Derek could probably take it. I mean, he is someone who's, first off, I mean, Vegas is pretty limelight too. It's not New York, but it's not a small town. And then
different lime.
And then the other thing with him too is he's got a demeanor. Aaron Rodgers is incredibly sensitive. You say something about Aaron, and he's got to be on the Pat McAfee show explaining why you're wrong. You know, these guys don't know what they're talking about, like stuff like that. He reacts poorly to things, where Derek is more calm and more mellow. It might work out in New York. And of course there's talent there. Like, that's the thing, is like, you're not showing up to a project. You've got Garrett Wilson, you've got Breece Hall, you've got Elijah Moore, you've got an offensive line that kicks ass. You know, I just think that's a situation where
got a pretty good defense.
Yeah. So you plug into that, and Robert Saleh is a really good coach. That could be something insanely good for the Jets if they could pull it off.
All right, two more names on the list. One, Lamar Jackson. Baltimore has got to bring him back, right? They've got to meet his demands at some point, right? I mean, they already were willing to fork out something, and then hit the first part of the season. He was lights out. He was playing so well. He did get hurt.
Yeah, which is going to always kind of hang around. I think that's what they're hesitating on.
Second season in a row,
but they did run the offensive coordinator hire past him. I know you don't do that to a guy you have no intention of signing.
2019 MVP, two-time Pro Bowler. You know, he's 45-16 as a quarterback for the Ravens. I mean, you got to bring him back.
I think you have to, but I've also heard rumors that they might try to trade him, which I think is interesting.
That's what I was teasing before the break, because I've also heard those rumors too.
Yeah, and I think that's, there's a lot of validity to trading a guy like that, because you're going to get a lot for him right now. His value is through the roof, even though there's question marks. There's a lot of teams that would give you a lot for that guy. And that might be a really smart move for them.
And, so I don't know. I mentioned it earlier, but there's a team that if they saw Anthony Richardson, Anthony Richardson is like a bigger Lamar.
There you go.
You wouldn't have to change anything.
All right. Well, the music signifies we have one more quarterback. Can you guys make it like 10 seconds? Daniel Jones, does he stay as a Giant or is he gone?
They got to keep him.
1 year contract.
1 year contract. All right.
Yeah. Pick up the extension.
There
1 year
it
with
is.
incentives. Yep.
There it is. 2 hours down. We've got one more to go on the Daily Blender. We're going to talk about Patrick Mahomes' suspicious superstition. We're going to talk a little Daytona 500. And we'll talk a little more about the Major League Baseball wins, over under on wins. That's coming up in hour 3 of the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, your new home for the NFL.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
One trip down Scottsdale Road, and it's obvious. Snowbird season is here. You know what else is on Scottsdale Road? The absolute best restaurant to take your out-of-town friends and family to. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. No one does it better than Kasai, where talented teppanyaki chefs create the food, the fire, and the fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is dinnertainment at its best, where a delicious 7-course meal prepared right at your table with flair. It's a perfect choice for any occasion. Choose from over 50 different items and combinations of teppanyaki. Looking for great dining without a show? Well, Kasai offers an awesome selection of Asian-inspired dishes and tasty sushi. Happy hour deals daily till 6 p.m. and enjoy the outdoor dining on the heated patio. So whether you're here for the open, the big game, or just the great Arizona sunshine, don't just take your guests to dinner. Take them to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse for dinnertainment. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com. Or call 480-607-1114.
Sun Devil men's basketball returns to Desert Financial Arena to close out the home portion of its regular season schedule against Colorado Thursday, February 16th at 6 p.m. and Utah Saturday, February 18th at 4 p.m. Arrive early on Saturday for the Sun Devils Senior Day recognitions. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball, onward to victory. Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. This is KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K256 Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K240 U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
hour. All right, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
And welcome everybody to the third hour of the Daily Blender for this Thursday, February 16th, as we broadcast live from the Harmon Solar Studios in the CRC Broadcasting Megaplex in beautiful uptown Scottsdale. Right over there, the man, the myth, the legend, Ralph Romano from Harmon Solar. Over there, the sexiest man at Sports Talk Radio, Keon Rose. My name is Randy White. You are the fourth dimension, and you make the show go round and round on the text line at 888-368-1580. Jeffrey O'Brien is out today. We talked a little free agency. Last Optimist says, I would sign Daniel Jones to 36 or 37 million a year for 2 years, then put the non-exclusive on Saquon Barkley. When he leaves, use those draft picks to pick up another running back or two. Interesting. That's thinking like a GM. 5702 says KD is officially the man in the valley. I don't know about that.
Not yet.
I mean, Ralph's also the man. Keon is the man. I don't know why KD would be the man.
He did a very good job of pointing out that he's got a lot to prove. He hasn't actually done anything.
He hasn't done anything yet. Let's just see what happens here. That's my mantra with Jonathan Gannon. That's my mantra with KD. Let's just see what happens here. Everybody relax a little bit. You've either got somebody that's like, oh, this was the worst trade in the Suns' history. This guy is an old loser. Then you got these other, oh my God, we're winning everything. Dude, relax. Just wait and see what happens. Kyle G says Derek Carr to the Panthers, who put an offer to Josh Jacobs. Really? I didn't hear that. That plus their defense, and they become a shoo-in for division winner and potentially make noise in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, especially if you get Josh Jacobs there. To the Panthers? I mean, their defense is not like elite, but they've got a pretty solid defense. At least they did when Steve Wilkes was there. I don't know how it's going to be now.
I mean, personnel-wise, they do. I mean, they've drafted over the years incredibly well. So there's not a ton of like insanely big name guys on their defense, but it is a good defense. And if they have a good running game and then a quarterback like Derek Carr, they'll easily be the best team in the NFC South.
That's not saying much.
It's not saying much, but like but they'll do it easily. Like they're not going to barely be the best team in the
I think if it goes to
NFC
any
South.
one of those teams, they'll be the best team in the NFC South.
I agree.
Well, it's so wide open right now. Yeah. I mean, nobody's got a real solid, what am I trying to say? Personality. None of them do. They have no quarterback really to speak of.
But outside of the Falcons, every other team is pretty well rounded. They're missing a quarterback.
See,
the
but
Falcons are missing a quarterback and like half a defense and
An
a bunch
offensive
of other
coordinator, defensive coordinator, and head coach.
Well, no, their head coach is pretty good, and their offensive coordinator is pretty.
Really could have fooled me.
The team has
is horrible.
Yeah, the team doesn't have talent.
Need a new GM.
They started with Marcus Mariota.
New uniforms.
And then went to Desmond Ridder, who was like okay, but and you know what they did? They were like, all right, we know what our quarterbacks are. Let's build an offense where we run the crap out of the ball. And nobody wanted any parts trying to figure out how to stop the Falcons from running. So all they need is a guy who can throw. That's like what they're missing the most of.
We have a new texter, another new texter here on the program. 8606 says, Randy, the duel. Love you guys. Talking about the Daytona, the duel at Daytona. Yeah, it's happening right now. Maybe some of you don't understand, or maybe some of you don't care to understand. This is a very interesting way to qualify for a very prestigious race in NASCAR, the Daytona 500. First off, you have the front row that got set last night with Alex Bowman and Kyle Larson. Inside or the pole position would be the 48 car of Alex Bowman. Sixth time he's been on the Daytona front row. Kyle Larson, who has generally really bad luck at Daytona. I mean, most of the time, he ends his races there very early. So we'll see what happens for him. But he's outside. And now tonight there will be two races. They're called the duels at Daytona. They're 75 laps or 150 miles. And what happens is the rest of the field will go out and they will try to set their position in the Daytona 500. Duel number one sets, I believe, the inside of the rest of the field. So all the cars on the inside of the rows going out. And then the duel number two sets the outside of the field. They don't do it on time anymore. It's based on your finishing position in the duels. And then there are some new teams like Jimmy Johnson and Richard Petty's new startup called the Legacy Racing Club team. We've got to do something. I need to get a hold of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
I don't know who came. The Legacy Racing Club sounds like a car dealership, or maybe a golf shop or something. I need to help him out with the name. But anyway, he qualified last night on time, so he is locked into the race. The rest of these cats out there will be racing for position tonight in rows 2 through whatever, 10 or 11, whatever it is at the end there. So that's the duels at Daytona. It's a lot of fun to watch because these guys are jockeying around. They better starting position, a better opportunity to win the race. Personally, though, if I'm racing in the Daytona 500, I don't care where I start. What matters is, am I running with about 50 laps to go? If I'm running at about 50 laps to go, it doesn't matter where I am on the field. I can make a push to get towards the front. And if you watch the race, you cannot watch. If you don't want to watch the whole race, I understand it's a long race. I personally love to watch all the drama, the anticipation, the action that happens. I like to watch the pit stops, but you don't have to be that way. You could tune in later on in the day and watch the last 50 laps. That is the most fun part of the entire race because now these guys start moving along. And several times I've watched a car with 3 or 4 laps to go that was in 6th or 7th place end up winning the Daytona 500. I've watched Kevin Harvick do it twice. I've watched a lot of guys come from 6th or 7th place with just 3 laps to go to win the entire thing. And for NASCAR, this is the biggest race of the season. Yeah, the championship that's going to be out at Phoenix Raceway again this season. because we have the best damn facility there is on bar none in NASCAR. But the Daytona 500, everybody wants this. This is a jewel race. This is a crowning jewel race right here. And it should be a lot of fun, especially since these guys and these teams have had a season to learn this new car platform that they have. And oh, by the way, I'll just let you know if you care, and even if you don't, I'm going to pick a Ford. I don't know which one yet, but a Ford to win the Daytona 500. They're fast. NASCAR has re-engineered the noses of these cars, and the Fords match up much better than the Camaros and the Camrys. So I'm looking for a Ford to win the Daytona 500. I don't know who yet. I might let you know tomorrow. I don't know. 888-368-1580. Boy, Licky Lips Johnson. Enough of these Suns talk. They still suck. KD couldn't get it done with Brooklyn and two other superstars. What makes everyone think things are going to be different here? Delusional Suns fans. Let's go Lakers. All right. Easy.
Easy. And also let's be clear about the two other superstars in Brooklyn.
Easy.
They played a grand total of 17 games together. What was anybody getting done in Brooklyn?
Yeah,
Like and then when they finally started to gel, Kyrie was like, "Hey, trade me."
I think out of the three, KD was the only one that was consistent.
He played most of the games.
He was the only one that showed up and played. James Harden did, and he was always hungover and worked up over his strip club from the night before.
And then Ben Simmons just didn't want to shoot because
Ben Simmons, like you said yesterday, he's taken up residence in his own head. He might as well just retire. If I'm Ben Simmons, who's going to argue with me? If I'm Ben Simmons, I turn in my retirement paperwork tomorrow, walk away. I'm a rich man. I have nothing to worry about the rest of my life. Take a long vacation to Cancun. Drink a rum on the beach. Enjoy life for a year, and maybe I get out of my own head.
Maybe, but he's going to collect the rest of that paycheck. So,
well, I'm
pretty
just
nice,
saying.
solid extension.
I'm just saying.
I hear you though.
I mean, he's making money like a bandit. I mean, look what the 76ers did. How much money did he make from them? Brooklyn's not going to do that forever.
Like you remember like last year, Brooklyn in the playoffs, Kyrie wasn't playing because he didn't want to take the vaccine. Yeah. So he just wasn't playing.
Yeah.
And then, Simmons was saying he had like mental health stuff he wanted to get through. Fine, whatever. But that meant Durant was out there by himself. So to say that he couldn't get it done with two superstars when they played a combined 17 games, come on.
Hefty Lefty says on the text line at 888-368-1580, Boogie's ears just perked up at the mention of disappointed fan bases.
Jeez.
Really? Just because he's a Detroit fan?
I mean,
boy.
Pick a team in Detroit.
You know who's not being talked about this offseason, and who should be being talked about is the damn Lions. The Lions aren't being talked about. Nobody's talking about the Lions.
I think people are waiting to see.
It's another fan base that's wait and see, isn't it, Ralph?
Well, I think it has to be, right? I mean, they had a great year. Let's see what next year looks like. I'm really curious.
I think Brad Holmes is a really good GM. I think they're building something over there, but
I think they are too.
But they've got the number 5 pick from the Rams. They've got some stuff to work with.
They got Jared Goff.
Yeah,
that makes me nervous.
I don't know that makes me nervous. I don't like it when Jared Goff has to play outside. That makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But I think it's obvious that the way that their offense flows.
Well, now wait a minute. Wait.
Jared Goff can run it.
Who'd they beat outside? I didn't pick him because he's a dome guy, but they won. What was the playoff? Was it a playoff game? Or was it
Green Bay?
Yeah,
it was in Green Bay, and they beat the hell out of the Packers, didn't they?
Yeah,
I wouldn't say they beat the hell out of them. I watched the Packers implode in the fourth quarter of the game.
It was a great win for that organization.
If you look at Jared Goff's numbers,
that was Detroit beating the Packers in Green Bay.
And that's huge. But
Does it get any better than that?
It doesn't. But I wouldn't say that Jared Goff was the reason why. No, Because if you look at what Jared Goff did statistically in that game,
All right, look it up. Keon, look
But
it
it was
up.
really cold that night. That was
that's the outside part. When Jared Goff has to play in LA, he doesn't have a problem.
Right.
It's when he has to play outside in like Chicago.
I really like their head coach a lot.
Do you see?
Yeah,
I got made fun of on this very radio program for the knee biter. But I think
kneecaps.
I think this is the guy that Detroit needed to fire that team and fan base up.
When you think Detroit, you think a guy like that. I mean, I just think
Exactly.
he's
Blue
a great-
collar.
Yeah, he's a great fit there. He's doing a great job. You can't.
I like Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Dan Campbell's good.
But
He cries a little too much for my taste, but
I don't mind a little crying now and then. I mean, he's all right. I mean, but I think he's done a great job. I mean, so we'll see. Next year, I think is a huge year for them.
yeah, I think you're right.
We'll see.
think
I
you're
mean,
right.
they're going to be one of those teams next year that people are going to be gunning for. They're not going to take it for advantage. You know.
Speaking of Detroit, Jamal Williams says the NFL is trying to take my personality away with celebration fines. Apparently, when he led the NFL with 17 rushing touchdowns last year, but some of those touchdowns were costly as the NFL repeatedly fined him for his favorite touchdown celebration dance, and Williams isn't happy about that.
they got him for the Hingle McCringleberry. Come on. That is so the Key and Peele sketch. The one of the characters is a football player named Hingle McCringleberry. And he goes to score a touchdown. And the joke is if you do 3 of the pelvic thrusts, you're done. They're going to fine you. So he does 2. And then the referee's just standing there like his head is right near his hips, ready to blow the whistle. And he can never help himself. He always does the 3rd one and then they throw the flag.
No, man, you can't do that.
So Jamal Williams does it in real life, which the sketch is a joke about how the NFL is over penalizing guys for just dancing.
Yeah, come on.
And so the league actually fined him
for 3 pelvic thrusts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With everything that's on TV and out there in the world today to watch.
Go. Yeah.
Really?
Preach it, Ralph. Go ahead.
That's
Preach on.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it's not like he was like, fake having sex or anything. His hands were up here. It was goofy. There's no kid that's going to look at that and know what the hell they're looking at. The league is just being ridiculous because they are, as we always point out, the no fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's just stupid. You could turn TV on and watch 10 times worse than that. I don't
on network TV.
Jamal Williams says, I'm doing nothing wrong. They're just being weenies. That's a quote. They're just being weenies.
Well, there's some kind of a weenie attachment there, I think. But yeah, that's just wrong. That's wrong. I agree with that.
They want to find me, yet put all that stuff up there, brand it, and put me up there and use it. They want to take my money, though.
And this is turning into another Chad Ochocinco here, where
Jamal Williams
find him all the time.
He's mad as hell, and he's unafraid to say it.
I don't know.
And he's going to continue to thrust his hips, and he doesn't care if you know about it. Pat Mahomes, his dad was a baseball player.
Mm-hmm.
He grew up in a baseball locker room, and he grew up with the baseball culture. That's why he's such a great damn quarterback, because he's at heart, his roots are made in baseball. Right, Ralph? Back me up on this one.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, absolutely.
And all the former baseball guys have these really cool deliveries when they throw the football.
Oh, yeah. Well,
like Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Well, so they also what baseball players are known for is being very superstitious, and Pat Mahomes is very superstitious. According to his former backup quarterback Chad Henne, Mahomes has to have the same pair of underwear for every game. Now, it doesn't say here that they're washed, not washed, doesn't say, but he says he has to wear the same pair of red underwear for each and every game.
Per season, or they carry over? Or?
I know he's got a back. See, even Chad Henne says he has a baseball background, got to have certain things each and every day. He comes in, he does his work, he notes, his notes are written out a certain way, same pair of underwear, which not a lot of people probably know on game day. He's been wearing it since I've been a part of it. So it must be the same pair of underwear every season, every game.
I mean, that's a total baseball thing. Those guys have some crazy superstitions and things that they do. That's just a typical baseball guy.
So now, Ralph, you're a baseball guy.
I am.
Do you have any crazy superstitions?
Come
on now. If not, Pippi No Stockings is going to out you.
I'm sure she'll
out you. Yeah.
But not. I never was really superstitious. No, I can't think of anything that I did No,
You didn't have to have a certain meal. I mean, Wade Boggs ate chicken before every game, the same chicken meal before every game.
You know, the only thing that I ever did. So when I also played ice hockey for 25 years, and the one thing I would always do, and I had to do it at the end of every warm up, is I had to take the last shot on the goalie, and it had to be right on his cup. So I would do that I had to do it, or I'd have a bad game. And one time I did it, and the guy didn't have his cup on. He forgot to put it on.
Damn.
So that delayed the game. But it was a superstition I had about doing that in hockey, but not in baseball. I never really had one.
Keon, you play a little basketball. You have any superstitions?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a superstition. Like, I just listen to the same music before playing basketball, but it's not because I think that if I don't listen to it, I'm going to have a bad game. I'm not a very superstitious person. I think the only real superstition in my life is the Stevie Wonder song. So I don't.
Yeah. What is it?
It's superstition.
Superstition.
Oh, superstition. Superstition. Okay.
How about you, Randy?
Oh, being a baseball guy my whole life, I have many superstitions. I never step on lines. Never step on lines ever. I never walk on the pitcher's mound before a game. Now during the game I have to, but I don't like to. Most of the time I try to tell my guys that were pitchers, because I was a catcher. Tell my guys, come to the front of the mound or step off the mound. I don't like to step on the mound.
Interesting.
And then I had a pair of socks and a pair of sliders. I'm talking about the inside sliders, the padded ones for when you slide.
Yep.
I wore those. And the socks got washed. The sliders never did the entire season. Never. Wow. And in one season it worked. I hit 341. I had several home runs. I led the team in RBI, and I was a catcher. So I
never washed it.
I never washed the sliders.
Did you piss off the umpires?
Oh, I did that quite frequently. Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, I did that. I'm one of those catchers. I don't say a whole lot, but I'll catch it and I'll hold it there. And the umpire will make his call, and I'm still holding it there.
You're that guy.
And I'm going to make him tap my shoulder and say, let's go. I'm that guy. I'm going to hold it there. You make a good long look at it, Blue. Take a good long look at how you just blew that call. Okay? I'm that guy. And then I had several pregame things that I had to do. So it's probably why I'm not playing professional baseball today.
Have you seen what they're doing in the AAA this year?
No.
They're actually going to start using the robotic umpires in AAA. I was kind of shocked. They're going to make it a standard.
Just put a pitching machine on the mound.
You might see it in the MLB in the next 2-3 years.
Oh, I'm sure with old drunk up there. Yeah, I'm sure. Sure we will. Yeah. Yeah. Anything to make the game go faster. You have some ball boy out there just feeding the jugs machine. Let's just no pitchers anymore. Just thunk, thunk. Just feed the jugs machine. Let these guys hit. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we got more. I don't know what it is. It's a Thursday afternoon on the Daily Blender here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
Sunday is the running of the Great American Race. It's the Daytona 500, and Ryan Blaney is the betting favorite to win on Sunday at plus 1,200. Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott are both at plus 1,300. Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch both at plus 1,400. And Joey Logano, the series champion, is at plus 1,600. Future betting for the NASCAR Championship of 2023. Chase Elliott plus 550 to claim the title. Kyle Larson plus 650. Denny Hamlin plus 1,000. And Joey Logano is plus 1,200 to repeat as the NASCAR Cup champion. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Are you a planner? Do you like to plan ahead? Then, of course, you already have a plan to call Harman Solar, right? Bruce Jacobs here. It should be at the top of your list to get solar now and enjoy huge savings next summer. Up to 85% on your monthly bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Then you can plan what to do with all that extra money. Harman Solar is a family-owned, women-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmansolar.com.
First, we decide where we want to go. Then we need to know the best way to get there. Hi, my name is Adam Barada. I'm the owner of Advantage Gold. We're the highest rated precious metals firm in the country. We teach people how to own physical gold and silver. Now, we've won the Best of TrustLink Award 4 years in a row because we educate our clients on how to buy gold and silver the right way. We don't pay celebrity spokespeople millions of dollars. We'd rather pass that value on to you. Call 800-900-8000 and speak with one of our experts. We'll send you a free gold kit along with my latest #1 national best-selling book, The Great Devaluation. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000. Get the best information, the best process, the best service, the best value. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Call 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor. Consult with your financial advisor before investing.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
It's time to think about your tax refund. And Jackson Hewitt wants you to think biggest, as in, we guarantee you'll get your biggest refund or your money back plus $100. Who offers that? Come to think of it, nobody. It's one of the biggest guarantees out there and why you can't just file with anybody. For your guaranteed biggest refund, go to Jackson Hewitt today. Your wallet will thank you. When every dollar matters, it matters who does your taxes.
1580 The Fanatic is your home for college basketball action.
It's the return of Big East basketball on the Fanatic as the Seton Hall Pirates travel to take on the UConn Huskies Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
Listen to all the action live from premier games and conference showdowns, high-paced action, last-minute buzzer beaters, and all the drama that is college basketball, all in one place. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender on this Thursday as we're in hour number 3, headed towards 6 o'clock tonight. Cards Chappie is sitting on the beach currently. Sitting on the beach in Hawaii currently. Watching the F-22s take off. How do I get that duty? Yeah. How do I get that job? Ralph, do you have an opening there at Harmon Solar where I could just go sit on the beach somewhere and you pay me lots of money?
No, because if we did, I'd be working that position.
Damn. Cards Chappie, enjoy. I hope you have some, I hope you're imbibing some nice cold beverages there. 888-368-1580. Last Optimist says Daytona is a beautiful track. Had the pleasure of spending a week there on the infield during Bike Week one year. Yeah.
Nice.
The Last Optimist also says the Super Bowl halftime show with Rihanna was more explicit than his touchdown dance. Did they find Rihanna? They should have fined her.
They did not find Rihanna.
I mean, they should have fined old what's her name, who's married to Ben what's his face. Should have fined her and old These Hips Don't Lie. What's her name? Shakira and what the hell's her name? I don't even know. There was enough crotch in that halftime show. Come on. I mean, let Jamal dance. Let him dance. Reaper says, hold the phone. I'm a Lakers fan. I am a Lakers fan, but I'm realistic and know that they are crappy. Suns actually might pull it off. So, when you say pull it off, what do you exactly are you talking about, Reaper? What exactly do you mean by that?
And I would say to Reaper, I think the Lakers were kind of crappy. I think they're very not. They're a lot better now.
They're
There's
less
a lot
crappy now.
There's a lot
They're
of talent.
way
There's a lot
less
of talent.
crappy now.
They're younger, and there's a lot of talent on that team. I think they've done a good job.
They're less crappy now. Oh, I'm sorry. How did that just fire off? I didn't do it.
You know what's funny about Suns fans is you got KD. You went out and did this. I think good for you. You did it, but now you always tell everybody else you're just buying a championship. But wasn't that what you just tried to do?
Well, I think trading is different than going out and pay. When you say buying, usually it's like a free agent. You go and pay the guy.
No, they're going to pay this guy.
They're going to pay this guy, but they gave up 2 really good players to get him.
Mikal went 45 last night.
But yeah, I mean, those guys showed up in Brooklyn and took over the team.
Meanwhile,
So,
KD is on the shoot around court. He hasn't even been on the floor yet.
Yeah, I
So
mean, remains to be
it's a
seen.
risk.
Remains to be seen if it was a good trade or not. It might not be.
Well,
it might be.
I think it is. I mean,
Again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. There's a lot of speculation floating around. I think it's worth it. I mean, I know we gave up a lot to get KD, but I mean, the guy's a stud. I mean, he's got a great resume.
I mean, hopefully you're just not like the guy that traded for Herschel Walker. I mean, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I understand.
but I think it's worth the risk to try, because the initial thing that
right
they were
now.
talking about.
Right now.
Yeah. I mean, championship windows don't last forever.
I mean,
You
don't
have
do it like
no
the
idea.
Diamondbacks and wait till KD is like 40 and then bring him in, pay him a lot of money to be your number one. And
Or don't wait like the Washington football team and wait until Dion is 40 and then pay. Like, it's just like,
See what I mean?
Yeah. No, I definitely understand.
I can still play football. Pay me $10 million a year. No,
They did it.
no.
They did it.
Also on the text line, Booger Wolf says Lakers fans eat hot dogs with their butts. Go Suns.
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
What is that?
Not even a Laker fan.
I'm not sure, but I think there's talent involved there.
I've never seen anything like that.
I don't know.
Woos says, and I can't. Woos, I'm sorry. The last time I tried to do
Woos.
there you go. Keon, go ahead.
Woos.
There it is. There it is.
The best I can do.
Hi guys, disappointed fans. How about my hometown Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh please, come on.
Come on. That's a good point. 4 Super Bowl appearances and nothing.
I understand how heartbreaking that is.
I'd slice my wrist.
I would give my hand to see my team go to 4
Which hand?
Super Bowls.
Which hand?
Doesn't matter.
There's
It
nothing
doesn't-
worse. No, there's nothing worse than losing a Super Bowl.
Would you give your right hand, Keon?
Yet there is the 25 years of not even going to a title game, a conference title game.
You give up your right hand?
Ooh.
Or would you give up the stranger?
Either one, man. Either one.
Hmm.
Just to
don't
go.
know.
Just to go.
I'm just saying.
Just so you can buy some merchandise that says Super Bowl and has your team helmet on it, right?
Look,
I've got a license plate and I got
I've never
Luis
seen it.
Gonzalez's bat right
Well,
here.
they have it. Not it doesn't say Commanders, but they
I mean,
have it.
They have it, but I was 2 the last time they did that. I would
buy
like one
some
from like my actual
generic,
adult life when I remember
Super
what happened.
Bowl,
It'll happen.
stuff.
It'll happen.
I mean, I hope so.
Text line again, humming along here. Uh-oh. Ralph,
No,
better put on your seatbelt. Pippi, no stockings.
Man, someone's gonna get hit tonight.
Score evener story number 2. I feel like we need some sort of music behind this. If I had a chance to really produce this would be great. Ralph decided one day that he was fit enough to mount our very high, steep roof and save a few dollars by cleaning our gutters. You remember this story, Ralph?
I do. It was when we lived in Houston.
The roof was so steep that once he climbed, he started to slip and had no choice but climb up to the very top. There was no way he would be able to get down without assistance, so he needed help immediately. So what did I do? I ran inside the house and grabbed my video camera.
What else did she do?
I called the fire department.
There it is.
And in the meanwhile, filmed the man, the myth, the legend, while he's
posted it.
While he's semi-freaked out, as he's not fond of heights. The film actually recorded Ralph yelling yelling at me not to laugh.
Wow.
And posted it on Facebook.
That might be one of the top 5 most evil things I've ever heard.
I told you.
That
Hippie's evil.
Oh my God.
First, I thought she said in his panic, but no, in his panic. I thought for a second you started talking Hispanic.
Yeah, I started rattling off Latin.
No me toques, yo tengo manos de oro.
I started speaking in tongues.
In his panic, he said the words, I'm having a hard time breathing up here. I think the air is thinner. That's a classic.
It was a big house.
I don't know which is more evil, doing that or
really
bringing that story up to a radio audience.
Oh my God.
Years later. I don't actually know.
If you're not a fan of Ralph Romano now, you should be. That brought tears to my eyes. I was laughing so hard.
It's going to bring tears to her eyes tonight.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, Ralph.
You guys going to be okay?
I'll
be
bad,
fine.
One year I had so I have 6 kids, and at 1 year I was trying to put this decoration up on our house. I thought I took time and I made this decoration and I was going to put it up on the house, but I had no idea how to do this because I'm not a craftsman. You have guys at Harmon Solar that are craftsmen, but I am not one of those people. I do radio. I do radio pretty well. I do production pretty well. I can make commercials. I can do voiceovers, but as far as like using my hands, yeah, not very good as far as a craftsman goes. But here I am on the roof, and I have this large, heavy Christmas decoration. I'm trying to put it up, and I can't get it to stand up. I got some wires, and I'm drilling into my roof. I shouldn't be doing that, I know, but I was drilling into my roof, and I had these cables running down. The thing kept just saying, and it would fall over. And I had my oldest son with me. He was 13 at the time. So I pick the thing up and I throw it off the roof, and I'm cursing while I throw it off the roof. And all of my kids are watching me throw the thing. And I am desperately scared of heights as well. I can't get on a 6-foot ladder without having a panic attack. And I'm on top of this roof, and I throw this thing, and it smashes into a million pieces. And then I said, come on, let's go get off the damn roof. What are we doing up here anyway? So suffice it to say, I feel your pain.
That's a good story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mortified that you drilled into your roof.
I'm also worried.
I told you I'm not a craftsman.
Noted.
And
I can't do that.
Threw this big thing off your roof.
Oh, I did. I picked it up. I was so angry, and I picked it up. I'm making sure I straddled the very top of the roof, so I wouldn't fall after I threw it, because that would just be the accentuation point on a story. Meanwhile, my kids are laughing. Like, what's Daddy doing?
Yeah, imagine your wife down there recording you while you're up there.
The part that really makes it evil is that she called the fire department.
Yeah. I mean, granted, we had a pretty large house in Houston, and the roofs in Houston, the pitch on them is pretty extreme. Mm-hmm. So once you get up there, you're pretty much up there.
Oh no.
Damn. You ain't coming down. So, but still, I mean, she was evil. She still is.
I don't think she's evil. I think she's just getting back to you. All those years of
trust me, there's a couple more stories, and if she tries to tell one of them, she won't survive the night.
All right, there we have it on live radio.
I don't know what to make of that,
ladies and gentlemen. We're going to protect Ralph for his own good. When we come back, we've got more to talk about, and we have on this day in Big Georgia sports history. It's the Daily Blender on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-902-8811. 800-902-8811. That's 800-902-8811.
By now, you know that sound. It's the sound of the Home Depot. But what about those sounds? Those are the sounds of a new Samsung laundry set with extra large capacity, serving up a powerful yet gentle clean in just 28 minutes, making this the sound of savings on the best appliance brands. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Get up to 25% off select appliances, including Samsung. Ends March 1st. Pricing valid February 9th through March 1st, 2023. Gas Dry Extra, US only. See store online for details.
Time for some smart saving. Brew up an education savings plan.
I'm Arizona State Treasurer Kimberly Yee. Saving for higher education is easier than you think. For the cost of a few cups of coffee each month, you can begin investing in an AZ 529 education savings plan. When it's time for college, you can have the savings for tuition, books, fees, and more. So visit az529.gov and brew up your plan today.
Now that's smart saving. Sponsored by the Office of the Arizona State Treasurer.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari compares the markets to a roller coaster ride.
Don't try to get too cute with the market and try to get out at the very top and realize, oops, that wasn't the top, then try to get back in. Then it corrects, then you get out again, and then you say, oh, that was the top, and I got in, and now I'm behind. Let me sell out. You sell out, market goes right back up. You'll drive yourself crazy doing that. And I see so many people trying to do that. And emotionally, it just takes a toll on them. And then they realize, oh, yeah, I better get somebody to do it.
If you're ready for some help with your investments, call Compact Asset Management at 800-388-9700 and schedule your free consultation with Mo Ansari. That's 800-388-9700, 800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
The most important event in sports could happen at any time.
Like right now.
Or right now. Or even now. Don't miss history. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or at 1580thefanatic.com.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on this Thursday, February 16th. We're broadcasting live from the Harman Solar Studios in beautiful uptown Scottsdale from the CRC Broadcasting Megaplex. My name is Randy White. Over there, that's Keon Rose, sexiest man in sports talk radio, and the man, the myth, the legend, Ralph Romano. Jeff Rubine is out today. We've been giggling a lot this third hour. I've been saving some of this stuff for tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll do the over under on wins for the MLB tomorrow, cool. and we'll also do that Keon Rose's college basketball dance party, where he'll give us a heads up on all the games throughout the weekend. I should probably do this before we run out of time, because I have a wheel of sports, and also I've got a thing I want to talk about. Russ Westbrook is talking again, and the Clippers may sign Russ Westbrook. Jeez. So we could talk about that, but first, let me get there on my sheet, because Big George does this every day. So it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1997, Jeff Gordon, aided by a crash that took out Dale Earnhardt 10 laps from the finish line while Gordon was running third, won the Daytona 500 at age 25, becoming the youngest champion in the 39 years of the race, and went on to win the season's Winston Cup title, his second in 3 years. This is not the year Dale Earnhardt was killed in that crash. That was 2001. Yeah, and that's in honor of this weekend's running of the Daytona 500. And Jeff Gordon, now co-owner and executive CEO of one of the biggest racing teams in NASCAR. So
probably my favorite driver in NASCAR.
Oh, really? You were a Jeff Gordon guy?
Yeah, I really like Jeff Gordon.
You know, a lot of people used to think about Dale Earnhardt that he was, he was just this hard ass, and he was the intimidator, and this, that, and he'll wreck you so he can get a win, and this type of thing. He actually took Jeff Gordon under his wing.
Yeah,
I don't know that many people know that. He actually took Jeff Gordon, and they partnered up with the like the merchandise and stuff, and made a mint. Just absolutely make money hand over fist. And Jeff Gordon owes his driving career a lot to Dale Earnhardt. So he is greatly missed. One of the guys that was the intimidator in the black and red Chevrolet Monte Carlo, the number 3, gone way too soon. All right, guys. We're talking about it. So the Clippers are talking Russ Westbrook. So can you tell me why, Ralph, the Clippers, having seen with their own eyes what Russ did with the Lakers, having seen that maybe Russ is beyond his time playing at the NBA level, why would they try to make this decision to bring in Ty Lue and the Clippers feel they need more from a point guard, and they want to bring in Russ Westbrook to fix that problem? Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. I mean, Russell Westbrook was an absolute train wreck on the Lakers. It's funny just watching him, and then now if you watch the Lakers with D'Angelo Russell, I mean, we finally have a point guard that actually can move and work the floor. And so Russell Westbrook is definitely not going to be the answer for that if that's what they're looking for. I think that's an absolute horrendous decision, in my opinion. I just don't see the value there anymore with Russell. I mean, I'll defer to Keon, but I don't see any value.
So,
there.
Keon, what do you think about that? Russ Westbrook going back to the Clippers, and why would the Clippers want to do that?
Well, I think I agree. He was an absolute train wreck with the Lakers, but I don't think he was a train wreck with the Lakers because he's bad at basketball now. And we kind of saw that when they moved him to the bench. Was like, oh, okay, if he has to have the ball all the time. And I think that when you play with LeBron's got to have the ball all the time. And who's actually the better passer of those two guys? It's LeBron. And I think you need an actual point guard with the Lakers, somebody who can facilitate others and get them involved. D'Angelo Russell, much better at that than Russell Westbrook. But when Russell Westbrook is on a team where they can just let him go be Russ and everybody else doesn't mind catching and shooting, then that works, which is why I think the Clippers calling is really weird, because you got Kawhi, who's going to need some time with the ball. You got Paul George, who's going to need some of his touches with the ball. And then you're going to introduce Russell Westbrook to that and have him share that. Like, unless you're having Russ be the second unit guy again for the Clippers, I don't know that that's necessarily a great fit for them.
But isn't this the latest model in the NBA of a quote unquote super team? You got 3 superstars on the team that are the nucleus of the team. Why bringing Westbrook in is a bad idea. I mean, he's a point guard. He's able to move the ball around.
But that's not his strength as a point guard. I think Russ is one of those guys, and his career's always been like this, where most point guards, like, look at how Chris Paul does it. Chris Paul is perfectly happy to not shoot for 3 quarters. He likes to get everybody else involved. And then when you need him to throw on the cape at the end, he can do it. Russ is the opposite. And there's almost no other point guard like him. He's got to get himself going first. Then when he's drawing all the attention, all of a sudden he opens up stuff for everybody else. But the superstars, you can put a bunch of superstars together, but I think we're learning, we learned from the Nets, we're learning from other teams. The superstars you put together matter. You can't just put together any group of guys.
Well, I mean, Kawhi and PG have gotten along great.
They've gotten along great, but that's because they can kind of complement each other. And Paul George doesn't mind being the guy that scored 9 points one night. Doesn't bother him at all. And Kawhi, is so efficient shooting the basketball. It doesn't even matter. He'll take like 11 shots and score 22. When you introduce Russell Westbrook, who's a little bit of a volume shooter, which means he's got to take a lot of shots to score a lot of points. He's got to always have the ball in his hands. It makes it a very strange combination if you throw him onto that team. It doesn't automatically make you some kind of contender. I think Ty Lue is a brilliant coach. Like maybe he could make it work, but it seems like a reach that's going to be the team that could really use the services of a Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook has reportedly spoken to Utah about a potential buyout. He wants a landing spot first. He's gotten permission to talk to the Clippers, the Heat, the Bulls, and the Wizards. Hey, there you go, Kia.
He was a Wizard once. He was great with the Wizards, but that's because like nobody on the Wizards needs the ball. Like, like Bradley Beal is a really good player, but Bradley Beal is perfectly content. If I have to wait for my turn to shoot, I'll do it. You got to have the right players together.
Mark Stein says a report by Mark Stein said to expect Westbrook to take most of the All-Star break to make his decision. He wants to recharge and not be rushed. Also, Paul George says he's reached out to Russ and, quote, I'm a big believer and fan of what Russ's work is, having one of my best seasons in my career alongside of him. I've seen what he can do night in and night out. I really think he can improve the team. He's such a big talent. He rebounds. He finds guys. He makes the game easy for everyone. I think he'll come in, mesh, figure out how we play, and adjust to it. Do you believe in that?
I think he needs to get as far away from that court in LA that he can. I think, seriously, I get he'll be wearing a Clipper uniform, but I just don't think that court has a lot of good memories for him, and he just didn't perform. I mean, I
think he's a big LA guy. He loves LA.
I get it.
So I think that's the reason why he would love to go back. And we've seen Russ and Paul George work together before. Those two guys, I think, could play well together because Paul, he didn't need the ball. Kawhi is the part that makes that strange because Kawhi does actually need the ball. He doesn't need it often because he is an efficient scorer.
Well,
but
maybe it is a work then.
It can, but it is a pretty big risk of all the options that are out there. I know that they just moved on from John Wall, so maybe he's not the guy for them. But there are still some point guard options out there. I don't know if I'm jumping to go get Russ at the first sight. Now, Russ on the Bulls, that could work because again, you got a bunch of guys there where if Russ wants to be the dominant, primary ball handler on that team, and then he wants to start scoring first and get everybody else going later, I think that's a team that can handle it because of the superstars on that team.
Yeah.
All right. 888-368-1580 is the text line. Licky Lips Johnson says, Lakers will be ahead of the Suns by the end of the year. I mean, and come on. You agree with that, Ralph? I see you shaking your head.
I mean, it's going to depend on what KD does. I mean, if KD comes in and actually can get healthy and play, I mean, I don't believe that's going to happen. I don't think the Lakers would be on top of them.
I think the Lakers are
going to win a lot
after the All-Star break.
The Lakers are going to win a lot more games with the lineup they have now. I mean, there's no doubt about that. I mean, I think they're a playoff team now. If LeBron stays healthy, Davis stays healthy, and Russell's doing what he does, and I mean, he's been impressive so far that I've been watching. They're going to win a lot of games, but no, they're probably not going to have more wins than the Suns. I don't think.
Keon, will the Lakers have more wins than the Suns by the end of the year, according to Licky Lips Johnson?
I don't think the Suns are going to lose enough games for that to happen. But I do agree with Ralph. The Lakers are currently 13th in the Western Conference, but I think by the end of the season, they'll be a playoff team.
Go ahead.
Maybe worst case scenario, they got to play in that play-in game, but they can definitely catch their way into the playoffs. Right. They're not catching the Suns though, because look at the Suns playing right now without KD. They're already winning a lot of games just by virtue of having Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and Ayton out there.
I mean, if Ayton continues playing at this pace he's at.
But you got to remember too, you bring KD in, it's going to mess the chemistry up a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to see how that's going to flow and how it's going to work. It doesn't mean it's going to work.
It doesn't mean it's going to work, but I do like that we already kind of have the blueprint of Kevin Durant went to the Golden State Warriors where there was a lot of guys that shoot the ball on that team. And we were all going to wonder who's going to do it. But everybody on that team, Clay, Steph, and then when they added KD, they were also efficient scoring the basketball.
I agree.
That it was fine. And Devin Booker is a similar kind of efficient scorer. Devin doesn't miss a whole lot, and he doesn't need to take a whole lot of shots to score a lot of points.
Yeah, I don't see like any sort of attitudes on this team. I think this team is going to receive KD in, and I think this is going to be a good attribute once he gets on the floor. And I think he's coming back after the All-Star break. We'll have to wait and see. Big George on the text line says, I really like Ralph's knockoff Kansas City Royals hat that has been converted to a OKC hat. Are the Kansas City Royals aware of that? Seems like a copyright trademark infringement, Ralph.
You know, it's funny. He says that. I've never noticed that until right this second. It's a really good point, Big George. I didn't notice
that. That is a good point. But you know what? Ralph just bought the hat. He's not selling it.
I mean, it's just a AAA hat from the OKC Dodgers. But yeah, I never noticed that. He's right.
All right.
If you take the O away.
All right.
Yeah, he's absolutely right.
I think, Keon, do we have some breaking Cardinals news that has come across the wire? Are you ready to share that?
We do have some breaking
All
news.
right, here we go. Breaking news.
Deeply unsurprising news, but I think it's going to make Randy's day. Vance Joseph has been told that he will not be brought back on the Cardinals staff.
That's too damn
he's
bad.
He's gone. He will not be returned.
Oh, damn it. Oh, man.
I think Randy's favorite part about the Cardinals hiring a defensive coach was the moment that happened. We pretty much knew Vance Joseph wasn't coming back.
Damn it. Well, listen. Thanks for your service, Vance. Just go ahead, pack your junk up, and get out. Speaking of the NFL, damn it, that's just too bad, isn't it?
I hope he goes to Indy.
Every Cardinal fan believes.
Hopefully, he goes to Indy. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, go ahead, go to Indy. We'll beat their ass too. Anyway,
Jeffrey would be so mad.
Speaking of the Chicago Bears, seem to be at a crossroads as a franchise with the future of Soldier Field. Quarterback Justin Fields says that it's very difficult to adjust to the weather in Chicago. Quote, I hope we get a dome, end quote. Starting a quote again, he says, I don't care if we're at Soldier Field. I don't care if we're at Arlington Heights. I hope we get a dome, end quote. He apparently is having a hard time adjusting to the weather in Chicago, especially the wind. So he wants to have a dome so he could pass the ball and maybe not take so many brutal hits. What do you guys think about this?
I think that's a horrible statement that he just made. Does he realize where he is?
Yeah, I mean,
this is Chicago.
Yeah,
that's like saying, I hope we put a dome over Lambeau Field.
That is the first thing I thought of.
What a horror! Jim McMahon made it work, dude. Figure it out. Right? I mean,
yeah. Well, granted, Jim McMahon was backed by the '85 Bears defense.
Well, we're not talking about that.
I'm just saying that Justin Fields is backed by about 13 soup cans. And look, there's nothing going on here that he is the team right now. All right. There's nothing to help Justin Fields.
You know what?
Now, that being said, you're in Chicago. You do have to figure it out. I'm sorry. That's just the way that this works. But he is a quarterback and he is the franchise guy. So if he's going to use his input, I remember right before the Super Bowl, Kurt Warner was saying, I asked him to close the dome, in Phoenix as often as they let me, as often as they let me do it. So if you have any input and there's a preferred way you'd love to go about doing it, throw your input in there.
I got to tell you, I lost a whole lot of respect for Justin Fields. Come on, man.
Really?
Yeah, that's a horrible.
He's from Ohio State.
Yeah, but it's not the cold that bothers him.
Oh my God, he even said so. There's cold wind here, 10 degrees.
It's the lake and the wind. You throw it, your pass just gets carried off into the the sunset.
You know what? Lift some weights, man. Throw the ball harder.
I mean, I've seen Justin Fields. I don't think he needs to lift anymore.
For Ralph Romano and
all right.
And Keon Rose, this is Randy White bidding you farewell on a Thursday. Tomorrow it's the Friday edition of the Daily Blender. On the big flamethrower, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
John, what are you doing?